Yeah.
We've only pushed it down the road for 3 weeks. The next couple of weeks are really crucial.
Executive editor of the Wall Street Journal there in D.C., where things will continue to be interesting. Jerry Seib, thank you.
Thank you.
Talks taking place next week between the U.S. and 3 European countries on Iran. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson to outline the flaws in the Iran deal and try to get Europe to help restrict missile testing and development in Iran, as well as an increase in inspections. President Trump, as you know, not a fan of the 2015 Iran deal and has said he wants to get out of the agreement unless changes are made.
Well, Chapter 1 of the shutdown battle is over. Chapter 2 is coming now with a looming battle over immigration reform. A Republican senator joins us live next.
The U.S. bankruptcy courts have established trusts to compensate those diagnosed with lung cancer or mesothelioma. $30 billion has been set aside for those suffering from asbestos-related diseases. Thousands of people have already received compensation. To learn more, contact us now for a free consultation. Call 1-800-950-MESO. For nearly 2 decades, we've been fighting for people with lung cancer and mesothelioma. Call us at 1-800-950-MESO. Lung cancer and mesothelioma. Don't fight it alone.
Introducing the brand new South Beach Diet. I'm Jesse James Decker, and if y'all want to know how I stay in shape, I do it with the South Beach Diet.
Lose up to 9 pounds and 3 inches overall in your first 2 weeks. Order your 28-day plan today with fully prepared meals delivered to your door. Breakfast, lunches, dinners, even snacks.
I lost 38 pounds.
It's safe and healthy weight loss, easy to follow, and it works.
I lost 30 pounds on the South Beach Diet.
South Beach is a low-carb, low-sugar, high-protein program that burns fat and transforms your metabolism.
I lost 24 pounds.
Order your 28-day plan right now and receive a week of our all-new South Beach Complete Shakes free. They're packed with 20 grams of protein, no added sugar, a great source of probiotics, vitamins, and they taste great. Call or go online in the next 2 minutes and we'll even throw in free FedEx shipping. Lose up to 9 pounds and 3 inches overall in your first 2 weeks.
Trust me, the South Beach Diet works. Call or click right now.
Call 888-751-FIRM or go to southbeachdiet.com and get 1 week of shakes free.
It was getting to be a struggle to get in and out of the tub.
Yeah, we were really worried about falling.
And we needed a solution to stay safe in our own home.
So we got an American Standard walk-in bath.
American Standard is celebrating over 140 years in business with our best offer on our Liberation walk-in baths.
They have a lifetime warranty on the bath, the installation, including the labor. I've never heard of that before.
American Standard has the only walk-in bath with over 20 comfort and safety features, including an ultra-low entryway, 44 massaging jets to help relieve aches and pains, and our patented quick drain technology, which drains your bath in less than 2 minutes. Other brands can leave you sitting in the cold. So call now for your free information kit. For a limited time, get $1,500 in savings, including a free American Standard Right Height toilet.
Don't delay. Call 1-800-425-8414 for your free information kit and $1,500 in savings, including a free toilet. That's 1-800-425-8414.
I'm pretty handy around the house, but now that I have kids, I don't want to spend a Saturday installing a toilet or fixing an air conditioner. Thankfully, there's HomeAdvisor. A HomeAdvisor helps me find the best home pros in my area to handle any kind of project. They have verified reviews of the pros, and they do background checks, so you know you can trust them with your home. You can compare prices, book appointments, and what my wife loves most is that HomeAdvisor is completely free to use.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app.
A Fox News alert and a fascinating turn of events in Washington, where Fox News has confirmed that the Attorney General Jeff Sessions, the top law enforcement officer of the United States, sat down for an interview with Bob Mueller's team investigating Russian interference in U.S. elections and anything else that might be related to that. Now, of course, the Attorney General recused himself from participation in anything involving the Russia investigation, which is how the Mueller investigation sprang to life in the first place, because Attorney General Sessions decided to sit this one out. We know that he was there, the Attorney General, with his attorney. We don't know what he said. That may come to light in the coming weeks and months, but it is a fascinating time to watch politics in Washington. We'll continue to stay on top of it for you.
Fox News alert. The government shutdown may be over, but a new battle is just beginning on Capitol Hill as lawmakers have less than 3 weeks to come up with a comprehensive immigration deal, including a fix for the Dreamers. Senate leaders from both sides making their opening arguments.
If an agreement isn't reached by February the 8th,
the Senate will immediately proceed to consideration of legislation dealing with DACA. The process will be neutral and fair to all sides.
Let me be clear. This immigration debate will have a level playing field at the outset and an amendment process that is fair to all sides.
Let's bring in Republican Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana. He is a member of the Finance Committee. Sir, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Do you believe those words that you heard? Because that is quite a difference from what we have seen from Washington lately. It would be nice to think that everybody's on a level playing field to go out there and have an adult conversation about this, but unfortunately we haven't seen a lot of that lately.
There's actually been a lot of conversation. One, I agree with your point. That said, there's been a lot of conversation regarding immigration. And I take the leader at his word. There'll be an open amendment process. Everybody can throw up the amendments they wish to propose, a full vetting, full debate, and hopefully we come up with a product that increases border security and addresses the other concerns.
You do not doubt, I don't think, from where we sit, that everybody wants a solution on this. I mean, it has been a problem for a long time, both border security and what to do about immigration in this country, how to make legal immigration more straightforward, and what to do about illegal immigration. Do you think that there's enough give and take? Because both sides have things that they want, and both sides have things that they can't possibly abide by.
Well, one, it's not comprehensive. Your lead-in spoke of a comprehensive agreement, and it's not comprehensive. There's 4 pillars that are being focused on, and there's bipartisan agreement on that. The president, who has said that he wants border security, but he's willing to deal with DACA. So the president, I think, is the one who makes or breaks this, and I think he has the ability to make it.
Yeah.
So the left is going to say, oh my gosh, he's going back on his word. No, give him border security, and he's willing to deal, but he's not going to take a half measure on border security.
So you talked about the 4 pillars. You're absolutely right, and forgive us for that mistake, but we've seen others bring in other things and insist on them. I mean, most recently with that continuing resolution where Democrats insisted on attaching DACA, which had nothing to do with the conversation at hand. Do you think you'll be able to limit it to those 4 pillars?
I think the only way you get it through is by limiting it to the 4 pillars, because otherwise it begins to spill out into something which neither right nor left feels as if they can tolerate. If you focus on those 4 pillars, there's a deal to be had.
The other concern is that February 8th is right around the corner. I mean, how far apart do you feel like you are? Do you think that's enough time?
Whether or not it is enough time, we don't know. But keep in mind, DACA actually doesn't end until March the 5th. So the February the 8th is the time when we would begin debate on a bill, but the bill would not have to be completed, if you will, till March the 5th, and I'm sure it could be extended a little bit beyond that. So yes, that 8th is out there, but I think that we have a little bit more room than that would suggest.
Can you give us a sense, I mean, you talked about the talks that are already going on. Can you give us a sense of what those conversations are like, you know, both in tone and content at all?
It is mutually now I'm speaking principally of the Republican side, but I've spoken to Democrats too, and it is respectful. It is an understanding that if we go beyond these parameters of the 4 pillars, we will lose everything. And I noticed that Democrats are now speaking about border security once more, if you will, going back to where they were a few years ago. They're coming back to it, and understanding that it is a quid pro quo. We've got to have border security. If we have that, then we can address the issue of DACA.
Yeah, I mean, the hang-up has been that Democrats have said they agree with the idea of border security, and even the president has softened his language to be a wall system. You know, instead of saying there will be a wall from end to end, you know, we've sort of cleared up what it actually means. So it seems like both sides on that are close together. It's about allocating funds. Our Democrats, I mean, they generally like to spend money, so it would be surprising if they don't want to allocate funds.
Yeah, and you have to be careful. If they say we'll give you $2 billion now and $23 billion in future years, well, you know, the check's in the mail. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
One thing my office is looking at, you know, there's a lot of supposedly $120 billion in ill-gotten gains that go from the drug trade south of the border. Is there a way to capture a portion of that using a percentage of that to fund the wall? It wouldn't be the Mexican government funding the wall. It would be the Mexican cartels. And we think that's a very viable solution. We're looking into the practicality of it.
Senator Bill Cassidy, interesting stuff. Good luck to you. Thank you for spending time with us today.
Thank you.
Well, a volcano erupting in the Philippines, heavy lava and ash forcing thousands to evacuate, why more danger could be imminent there. Plus, Senate Democrats facing criticism for their negotiations to end the government shutdown.
We were always confused as what the strategy was, is to say we're going to shut down the government, take all the American troops' paychecks hostage, take the Customs and Border Patrol paycheck hostage.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Do you hate your full face mask? Tired of the severe pain and discomfort? Now you can eliminate the pain and torture of your CPAP mask and sleep in total comfort. Invented by an actual sleep apnea patient, this incredible product ends the need to use awful full face masks. And because it has no straps and no headgear, you'll be comfortable and get your best CPAP sleep ever. Go to nomask.com, NOMASK.com to end your nightly torture. That's nomask.com.
We've been preparing for this day. Over the years, Paul and I have met regularly with our Ameriprise advisor. We plan for everything from retirement to college savings, giving us the ability to add on for an important member of our family. Welcome home, Mom. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant.
I was up and down with my weight my entire life.
When diets don't work, it's easy to quit. From a top diet 7 years straight comes the new Rapid Results.
If you see immediate results, you stick with it.
Lose up to 16 pounds in just 4 weeks. With one-on-one support, you'll see change fast. Eat 6 times a day. The secret is what you eat and when. Call 1-800-96-JENNY and start Rapid Results for $16 plus the cost of food and get $70 in free food. Hurry, call now.
Now ADT can help protect your family at home and on the go. Call today and get an ADT starter kit professionally installed for only $49. Plus, you'll get ADT Go, the new family mobile safety app and service for free with any ADT security system.
Hi, I'm the one clocking in when you're clocking out, sensing and automatically adjusting to your every move. Does your bed do that? I'm the new Sleep Number 360 smart bed. Let's meet at a Sleep Number store.
Vicente Fox on Hannity. From safety and security to illegal immigration and the real state of U.S.-Mexican relations, Sean and the former president square off.
I'm Dr. Joseph Cranen, a sleep apnea specialist. If you're using a CPAP machine, you could develop a respiratory illness if it's not cleaned properly. That's why I strongly recommend SoClean. SoClean quickly, easily, and effectively kills 99.9% of CPAP germs and bacteria without any harsh chemicals and works on all popular CPAPs.
I don't have to pour products into the SoClean in order for it to do its job. It's incredibly simple to use.
In the morning, I wake up, I take the hose, the mask, plop it into the machine, close the lid, and I'm done.
Try the world's first automated CPAP sanitizer, risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-837-8513.
SoClean gives me the peace of mind in knowing that I'm breathing sanitized air from my CPAP at night.
I don't have to worry about anything growing in the reservoir, the mask, nothing. It's all clean, it's all dry, it's all fresh.
Call now to try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-837-8513 or visit trysoclean.com.
The Philippines on high alert. Volcanic eruptions that began Monday were followed by several blasts today. Look at that. Shooting massive plumes of ash into the sky and spewing lava. Thousands of villagers were forced from their homes. Right now, officials setting the danger zone at a 5-mile radius from the crater, but that could soon expand.
Fox News alert, we have learned that the Attorney General of the United States, Jeff Sessions, sat down for an interview with Robert Mueller, the man investigating Russian interference in the U.S. elections last time around and anything related to that, an investigation that has touched former members of the president's inner circle. Joining us now, Principal White House Deputy Press Secretary Raj Shah. I want to start with that, Raj, because it is the big news of the morning. How does the White House characterize that meeting between the Attorney General and the Mueller team?
Well, thanks for having me on. In general, we don't comment on witnesses or other matters concerning the special counsel. We've been supportive and cooperative of this process. We believe it will end soon and find what we've known all along, which is that there was no collusion during the 2016 campaign and no findings of wrongdoing, and we expect it to wrap up soon.
Can you tell us any details? I mean, was this an interview with Mr. Mueller personally? Was it his investigators? And how long did it last?
Frankly, I'm not aware of the details concerning it, but we've been cooperative as a White House and as an administration, and we believe that the special counsel is going to find what we already know.
And you believe that this investigation is going to be over quickly?
Yeah, the White House's view is that it will be wrapping up in short order. We want it to be done thoroughly and above board, but we have confidence that the special counsel, again, is going to find what we've known all along. There's been no collusion and no findings of wrongdoing.
All right, let's turn our attention to the other big issue of the day. The government is back open once again. The lawmakers in Washington managed to pass a short-term spending bill that ends the government shutdown. Critics are slamming Democrats, mainly Chuck Schumer, when it came to negotiating. Raj Shah, our current guest, saying the Democrats blinked.
I think that the fact that they're voting in favor of this proposal that they had rejected a few days ago is sort of evidence that they blinked.
So let's get back to our interview with Raj Shah, Deputy White House Press Secretary. That characterization that Democrats blinked, you stand by that?
Absolutely. Look, Chuck Schumer and the other Democrats were offered a solid bill on Friday. It was to keep the government open for about 4 weeks, to pay our military, to pay our first responders, and also to extend children's health insurance. They rejected that deal on Friday and got put into an untenable position of saying they wanted unrelated legislation about immigration reform to be a part of any effort to keep the government open. You can't take the interests of 600,000 to 700,000 illegal immigrants over the interests of hundreds of millions of law-abiding American citizens who need national security, who need basic government services. They were in an untenable position, and they basically voted to reopen the government just a few days later.
Need a quick answer from you. A lot of people are scratching their heads this morning, wondering what was accomplished by the shutdown. What's your answer?
Well, frankly, I'm as confused and scratching my head as much as anybody else about what Chuck Schumer was thinking. You'd have to ask him. We've heard a lot about how, the president may have not been as vocal or forward-leaning in some of these measures, but actually he got the job done in 3 days without holding any press conferences. Chuck Schumer held 3 and got 0 for it. So we think the president handled this the right way. The Republicans on the Hill handled this the right way. Chuck Schumer put him and his Senate Democratic colleagues in a completely untenable and, frankly, irresponsible position. And, frankly, we're happy that they came to their senses and did the right thing. We're sad it took 3 days of a shutdown for them to do that. But, that's where we have it today.
And you don't think we'll be back here on February 8th going through the same drill again?
Well, we want to move forward, and we're welcoming a debate about immigration reform. That's what the Democrats want. That's what this White House and Republicans want. We want a bill that deals with the DACA population, that also deals with the 3 core issues that we've talked about, which is ending the visa lottery, reforming the extended family chain migration system, and rural border security with a southern border wall. If we can get those things in a package, and we'd like to get it, forget February 8th, we'd love to get it tomorrow, we'd have a deal, and we want to move forward on that. But we think shutting down the government for hundreds of millions of Americans while we're working on immigration legislation is just not appropriate.
Raj Shah is Principal White House Deputy Press Secretary. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Stunning new revelations about tens of thousands of missing text messages between 2 FBI officials under fire for anti-Trump bias. How will this affect the Russia investigation?
The world's largest investment bank purchased $300 million of gold for their own account. What do they know that you don't? Investors are snapping up gold. This commodity is on the verge of an epic comeback. Gold and silver, opportunity of a lifetime.
We're seeing a lot of very big, very smart money move into precious metals. They get it. They know what's coming.
Call now and get this exclusive video. See why banks, billionaires, and financial experts are buying gold.
The richest guys who know what they're talking about, like Dalio and those guys, they're shifting into gold now.
Call Lear Capital at 1-800-452-5050 for your free video and special report, Banks, Billionaires, and Plan B. First-time callers receive this 1-gram gold-plated bar free.
Everybody should have gold in their portfolio.
Get your free information and ask how you can receive up to $600 in free gold. Call 1-800-452-5050. 1-800-452-5050. Call now.
People everywhere are getting clear skin. Their acne gone, with results that'll blow you away.
This is insane. It's so dramatic.
Get ready for a skin clearing breakthrough from America's #1 acne brand. It's called Proactiv MD. Check out how annoying blemishes around your chin disappear. Random blackheads on your nose dissolve away. Even red, painful pimples can vanish and become smooth. Imagine what Proactive MD can do for your skin.
My friends, they see my face and it's just like, man, you're a new man. And I'm like, yeah, I am.
Proactive MD is different. It includes an advanced retinoid that you could only get from a doctor until now. This retinoid penetrates deep to stop acne at the cellular level, and it keeps working for 24 hours, so new breakouts don't stand a chance. This is the clear skin solution you've been searching for.
Wow, I look at that picture, it's just like, it actually works.
Right now, get the new Proactive MD 3-piece system at an incredible price. Sold separately, it costs $45, but order before this clock runs out, and you'll pay only $19.95. That's more than half off. Just call 1-800-279-7299.
Pictures are worth 1,000 words. Proactive MD definitely works.
Order quickly, and we'll also include our all-new charcoal cleansing brush, a $55 value, free.
Getting that brush for free, I mean, why wouldn't you do that? It's adorable. I love it.
Try Proactive MD for 60 days. Get clear skin or your money back, but keep the charcoal brush no matter what.
Proactive MD is the only thing that's worked for me. My skin has never looked this good.
New system, new brush, new offer. A $100 value for just $19.95. Go to proactive.com or call 1-800-279-7299 before time runs out.
Today, we're finally getting our bathtub redone. We weren't happy with it.
Oh, we didn't want the headaches of demolition.
Or the days without our bathroom. Then a friend told us about Bath Fitter and their unique tub-over-tub process. There's no demolition, and they install in as little as a day. They also have a seamless wall for a watertight fit. And Bath Fitter has a lifetime guarantee. What a difference. Finally, a bathtub I love.
Call today or learn more at bathfitter.com.
A big magnitude 7.9 earthquake off Alaska's Kodiak Island in the wee hours of this morning. Officials asking residents to go to higher ground. Tsunami warnings issued earlier, but they have now been canceled. William Lajeunesse live in Los Angeles with the latest. William?
Well, John, this is what people heard. Get in your car and get to higher ground. That was the warning issued early this morning to residents in parts of Alaska and Canada after the 7.9 magnitude earthquake rumbled to life 300 miles south of Anchorage, prompting the National Tsunami Warning Center to issue a warning for Alaska and Canada and a watch for Washington, Oregon, California, and Hawaii. Now, residents in several Alaska towns woke up to a cell phone alert and a siren and a loudspeaker urging them to evacuate, either drive inland or find the highest point that they could. Now, in San Francisco, officials warned residents within 3 blocks of the coast and 5 blocks of the bay to prepare to evacuate. However, after the quake failed to generate more than a 6-inch wave and a minor rise in tide, the Weather Service canceled the warning. Now, this quake hit in an area called the Ring of Fire, where the Pacific and the North American plates collide. In 2011, a quake in the area caused a small tsunami that rocked boats and caused damage in Santa Cruz, south of San Francisco. This quake lasted about 1 minute and only caused minor damage compared to the 9.2 quake of 1964, which leveled Anchorage and caused waves and really created this warning system that they used today. John?
Good news, no tsunami. Thanks very much. William Lajeunesse out of Los Angeles.
A Fox News alert on the Russia investigation. Special counsel Robert Mueller's team interviewing Attorney General Jeff Sessions last week. This as the House Intelligence Committee is now severing communications with the Justice Department and the FBI because Republican leaders believe both agencies are not cooperating in their requests for documents in several investigations. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of text messages between FBI officials under fire for anti-Trump bias are now missing. Reaction from Trey Gowdy.
What's also troubling to me is this text that Johnny Ratcliffe found last night about this secret society. Now, I have no clue what that means because that was not the phraseology I used, but it's the day after the election, and it's the same two people that were discussing a little bit later in the text the damage they had done with the Clinton investigation and how they could, quote, fix it and make it right. That is a level of bias that is stunning. among law enforcement officers.
Patrick Griffin is a former media consultant to 4 Republican presidential campaigns. Julian Epstein is a former chief counsel to the House Judiciary Committee and a former staff director for the House Government Reform Committee. Gentlemen, thanks to both of you for coming on. Patrick, let me ask you, I mean, in one of these texts, Trey Gowdy went on to say, they said, perhaps this is the first meeting of the secret society. These 2 FBI agents, I mean, that is really disturbing. Coming from 2 FBI agents the day after an election that they clearly didn't agree with. This is upsetting stuff for the American people. What do you think?
I think, Melissa, the more we talk about some of this language, secret societies and this idea of, an insurance policy, the FBI are sounding more like the mob than the FBI here. This is like something out of a Dan Brown novel. Look, the purpose of this investigation was to preserve the credibility of Robert Mueller. Democrats and Republicans both agreed when Mr. Mueller got this job that the one thing he brought to the table, his stock in trade, was his credibility. Unfortunately, these institutions around him, some of his investigators, have muddied that a bit, and it's exactly the opening that President Trump needs, I think, to throw a little fuel on this fire and basically indicate that this is not a legitimate investigation. Forget the legality of this. This is about optics and politics, and it's not good right now.
Okay, Julian, I mean, the facts of this case so far look really bad. I mean, more than 50,000 texts where, first of all, I don't know if I've even ever sent my husband 50,000 texts in my life. I mean, that's a lot of texts. And then saying that the 5 months between December 14th, 2017 and May 17th, 2017, those have mysteriously gone missing. This is after the election when this group may have been doing what is the scariest of their work after election they didn't agree with. Now those texts are all suddenly gone and can't be retrieved. That looks terrible.
Well, it does look bad, and there should be a complete investigation, and the Inspector General is investigating it, and I'd say let's let chips fall where they may. I mean, to hear Republicans come on television and compare the FBI to the mafia, the FBI that's been led, the 2 recent directors have been both lifelong Republican appointees, is somewhat shocking. And I think, while this is bad, you certainly want to know of any bias that's going on at any level of the FBI. Mueller removed the 2 individuals involved from the investigation, so I think that will help Mueller and the credibility in the investigation. Remember, there have been multiple attempts now to kind of impugn the credibility of this investigation. But we have 4 indictments, 2 guilty pleas. We have multiple efforts by the Trump campaign to meet with Russian surrogates. We have multiple instances in which Trump associates lied about those meetings during the campaign and during the transition. And there have been all of these efforts to kind of discredit what even Republicans on Capitol Hill are saying is a very important, legitimate investigation. I just don't think, given that Mueller removed these individuals, it's going to work.
We've revealed all of this other stuff. And Patrick, it's not even 2 agents anymore who were biased. I mean, these are people who appear to be weaponizing law enforcement on a federal level to attack a political opponent.
Well, look, everybody has the right to their own political opinion. The question is, if you can leave that at the door during an investigation like this, you should have the right in America to have your own political thoughts and feelings. The problem here is that is not the case, and the investigation has been impugned by the investigators. This is not a question of mocking the FBI. This is a question of looking at what's happened and realizing they have put themselves in a very, very difficult place to effectively and with credibility prosecute this case. The bottom line here is the Mueller investigation was designed to find out who, higher up the chain, might have known about this Russian collusion. And the person that's been in the hot white spotlight of this, Melissa, has been the president. This has been a terrible distraction. Bottom line is they've lost their ability to effectively prosecute this case.
Well, except you did mock the FBI. You compared the FBI to the mafia, which is a shocking thing for a Republican.
The FBI is behaving like the mafia.
Julian.
That's a bottom line. Don't be so shocked, Julian.
Republicans on Capitol Hill.
Republicans
on
Don't be so shocked, Julian. Come on now. You're a big guy.
Patrick, hang on. Go ahead, Julian.
Okay, Patrick, settle down. The Republicans on Capitol Hill are the ones who are saying this is a legitimate investigation. We heard, the Steele dossier was supposed to be this big effort that was going to discredit the investigation. investigation. Then we find out that it was the Rubio campaign that started the whole Steele investigation. Then Republicans wanted Steele to be prosecuted by the Department of Justice and referred him for prosecution. Then Democrats released his testimony before the Senate, and then all that went away. Then there was this effort to discredit the deputy director of the FBI, McCabe, and then the Trump-appointed FBI head told the White House to back off on that. So you keep seeing all of these efforts to discredit an investigation.
So you think that this is just a distraction and there's no there to this, Julian? You already know there's no there.
I think there is an Inspector Clouseau quality to this. I think the fact that there was bias, by two investigators was a bad thing, but Mueller removed these two investigators, and nobody has gone after in a serious way to impugn the credibility of this investigation, which is getting worse.
Okay, we're almost
this
out
is
of
a
time.
criminal
Patrick,
investigation into obstruction of justice of the president.
I'm sorry.
Patrick, respond.
I'm sorry, Julian. That's a good try. But the bottom line here is, even if you believe this investigation might have some credibility, you want it to be done correctly and fairly. This investigation has been compromised, and at the end of the day, you guys are not going to get what you want out of this. Too bad about that, but I'm sorry.
Well, what we want is the truth. What should Mueller have done?
Save it for next time. Save it for next time, gentlemen. Thanks to both of you. John.
Thank you, Melissa. Thanks for having me.
Well, Congress passes a spending bill to keep the government open, but a new deadline is coming fast, and the battle over immigration is heating up. Are the Democrats winning this debate, or did they overplay their hand? We'll discuss it with Larry Sabato. Plus, the suspect who drove a truck into pedestrians on a New York bike path this past Halloween appears before a judge in Manhattan today.
This is a tragedy of the greatest magnitude.
This was an act of terror.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Anything you can be, I can be greater. Sooner or later, I'm greater than you.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
When it comes to travel, I sweat the details. Late checkout, down alternative pillows, and of course, price. TripAdvisor helps you book a hotel without breaking a sweat. Because we now instantly search over 200 booking sites to find you the lowest price on the hotel you want. Don't sweat your booking. TripAdvisor, the latest reviews, the lowest prices.
Are you hiring great people?
I get more talented people through the door through Indeed than any other job search that I use.
Indeed delivers 6 times more hires than any other job site. Post a job in minutes, and Indeed will help you zero in on just the right candidates. Plus, there are no upfront costs or long-term contracts.
Nothing has ever been this easy, this simple, and this effective.
Right now, start your first job posting with free premium placement. Search for greatness. Indeed, the world's #1 job site.
Let's begin. Yes or no? Do you want the same tools and seamless experience across web and tablet? Do you want $4.95 commissions for stocks, 50-cent options contracts, $1.50 futures contracts? What about a dedicated service team of trading specialists? Did you say yes? Good. Then it's time for Power E-Trade, the platform, price, and service that gives you the edge you need. Looks like we have a couple of seconds left. Let's do some card twirling. Twirling cards. E-Trade, the original place to invest online.
Wayfair, you got just what I need. It's the feeling of done and done. It's so much fun. Easy as a click, and done comes quick. It can even look crazy. That's fun and done, baby. Get a deal done. My fancy looks fun. Just kick back, relax. With Wayfair, you're done. You know the feeling. Yeah, that's the one. It's the feeling of done and done. It's so much fun.
Bring home the feeling at Wayfair.com. What makes these simple dishes the best simple dishes ever? Great tasting, heart healthy California walnuts. So simple, so good. Get the recipes at walnuts.org.
Now help your immune system when you need it most with a good night's rest from Unisom. New Unisom Sleep Plus Immune Support helps you take control of your sleep cycle. Plus has key nutrients for added immune support so you can feel your best. Unisom Sleep Plus. Take control of your sleep.
New information on the deadly terror attack along a bike path in New York City last Halloween. The man accused of killing 8 pedestrians by driving a rented truck onto the bike path is appearing before a judge today. Lawyers say that Saifulo Saipov are saying that he is willing to plead guilty to the attack if the Justice Department takes the death penalty off the table.
The government shutdown is over with President Trump signing a spending bill last night, but it just sets a new countdown clock in motion. Here's Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton.
I think what we learned is that the American people don't want to have the government shut down for illegal immigration. We're now on the backside of this shutdown, thankfully. But what we've seen is that the Democrats' obsession over amnesty for illegal immigrants simply is not popular. And I think that's significantly strengthened our hand going into these immigration negotiations to have a responsible bill for the DACA population while also controlling for those side effects, building a wall, securing our border, and ending chain migration. The Democrats badly overplayed their hand here.
Joining us now, Dr. Larry Sabato, director of the Center for Politics at the University of Virginia. It's a judgment call I'm asking you for. But what about what Senator Cotton had to say there? Did Democrats overplay their hand in this one?
I'll give you a one-word answer. Yes. And I think privately most of them agree with that.
Really?
For the life of me. Oh, John, for the life of me, I can't see why they went into this. They had no real strategy for once they got into a government shutdown. And I suppose to their credit, they recognized it quickly. The shutdown lasted only one real working day before they caved. Now, they claim to have gotten a deal. We'll see how that works out in 3 weeks. I know we're trained, you and I are trained to be cynical with good reason, given our jobs. But I actually think something might be worked out, at least in the Senate, given Senator McConnell's very public pledge. And I've always found that he does fulfill his pledges if he makes them in that kind of very overt way.
But there are a number of the more liberal Democrats who, by the way, happen to be talked about as presidential contenders in 2020. People like Kamala Harris from California, Cory Booker from New Jersey, Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts. They're all very unhappy. They voted against reopening the government. Why?
Well, they had the best of both worlds, John. They knew very well it was going to pass. I mean, it got over 80 votes in the Senate, and you can't get a Mother's Day resolution to get 80 votes in the Senate anymore. But they were sending a message to the Democratic base that votes in primaries. Hey, I might run for president, and notice I'm with you, because the Democratic base was furious at Chuck Schumer and the other Democrats for, quote, caving, unquote. Look at what they said on Twitter. It was pretty hot.
But didn't Schumer respond essentially to the Democratic base in dialing up this shutdown in the first place?
Well, he did. He was responding to the base. I think Democrats thought they could get Republicans to cave. Why? Because overwhelmingly the American public does support the Dreamers, and you noted that earlier in your show. Second, they figured that President Trump and the Republicans would not want this shutdown to occur on the first-year anniversary of President Trump's presidency. Well, guess what? They didn't care. So it was a miscalculation on the Democrats' part from the word go.
And the idea that voters are going to punish, one party or the other come November, the Democrats had to be worried, I guess, that they were getting the black eye in this, because that's why they relented so quickly.
Yeah, if it went on, and it could have. I mean, we've had shutdowns last for a month, and they're a disaster. And generally, the party not in the White House ends up paying. I don't know if that would have been true here. So far, the public opinion was split and even was more critical of Republicans. But who knows how that would have changed. And the Republicans were in a better position to carry forward their point of view than were the Democrats, who are the minority in both houses and don't have the White House.
Interesting times. Larry Sabato, University of Virginia. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
A-10 Thunderbolt jets heading to Afghanistan, why the U.S. military is deploying them now. Plus, Neil Diamond stepping away from the spotlight. The diagnosis that led to him canceling his tour. Next.
Song, song, blue. Everybody knows. Song, song, blue.
Get new floors during Empire Today's gigantic 75% off sale. That's carpet, tile, laminate, and even hardwood, 75% off. Empire makes beautiful new floors easy. See samples in your home, get a free estimate during your appointment, and have your floors professionally installed. Update your floors with Empire and get 75% off carpet, tile, laminate, and hardwood. Schedule now.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
When heartburn hits, fight back fast with Tums Chewy Bites. Fast relief in every bite. Crunchy outside, chewy inside. Tums Chewy Bites.
Experience Lexus Safety System Plus Standard in the 2018 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid.
Lease the 2018 ES350 for $339 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
The U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, inside the impact on the Mideast and what it could mean for peace negotiations. Palestine's chief negotiator reacts on Fox News at Night.
I'm Dr. Joseph Cranen, a sleep apnea specialist. If you're using a CPAP machine, you could develop a respiratory illness if it's not cleaned properly. That's why I strongly recommend SoClean. SoClean quickly, easily, and effectively kills 99.9% of CPAP germs and bacteria without any harsh chemicals and works on all popular CPAPs.
I don't have to pour products into the SoClean in order for it to do its job. It's incredibly simple to use.
In the morning, I wake up, I take the hose, the mask, plop it into the machine, close the lid, and I'm done.
Try the world's first automated CPAP sanitizer, risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-837-8513.
SoClean gives me the peace of mind in knowing that I'm breathing sanitized air from my CPAP at night.
I don't have to worry about anything growing in the reservoir, the mask, nothing. It's all clean, it's all dry, it's all fresh.
Call now to try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-837-8513 or visit trysoclean.com.
Just because you're cooking at home doesn't mean you can't travel the globe. Plated is the meal kit for people who love food. So you can explore the world without ever leaving your kitchen. Our diverse menus include 20 globally inspired chef-designed recipes and 2 delicious desserts every week. And our flexible plans fit every table and schedule. Get everything you need to make amazing dinners in one completely customized box. From pre-portioned, high-quality ingredients to easy-to-follow recipe cards, so you can create home-cooked meals that will impress your entire family. Let Plated be your passport to unforgettable dinners every week. Get 25% off your first 4 orders at plated.com/25x4.
Count them, 6 minutes from now, outnumbered atop of the hour, Special Counsel Mueller has conducted his very first known interview with a member of President Trump's cabinet, Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Investigators are grilling him for hours on questions about collusion, obstruction. The White House says it believes this means the investigation is beginning to wrap up. We'll talk about it.
Meantime, the AG vowing to leave no stone unturned to find out what happened. 5 months worth of missing texts between the FBI officials who exchanged anti-Trump text messages. Will this investigation need a special counsel?
We'll break the news on who's outnumbered atop the hour, too. He's sitting next to me. You'll have to wait to find out. See you then.
The Air Force deploying Warthog jets to Afghanistan to aid in the fight against the Taliban. Lucas Tomlinson is at the Pentagon. Lucas, what sparked this decision?
Melissa, the Pentagon wants to copy the success it had against ISIS in Iraq and Syria by deploying these A-10 jets to Afghanistan and move more U.S. troops closer to the front lines to call in airstrikes. Now, the Taliban receives a lion's share of its revenue from narcotics, but already U.S. jets are bombing processing plants similar to what they did against ISIS oil supplies. These 12 A-10s were originally headed for an airbase in Turkey to fight ISIS, but with the air war largely over in Iraq and Syria, military brass decided the jets and more drones were needed at Kandahar Airfield in southern Afghanistan to ramp up the fight against the Taliban. More Air Force Special Ops helicopters have also been deployed for search and rescue. This comes as roughly 1,000 more U.S. troops were deployed this spring to shore up Afghan forces decimated in recent years. The U.S. military dropped more bombs in Afghanistan last year than in 2012, when it had roughly 100,000 troops on the ground. Today, the State Department said multiple Americans were killed and others wounded in last week's rampage at a popular hotel in Kabul frequented by Westerners. Last month, the vice president said the U.S. military would not be leaving anytime soon.
Clearly, after 6 years of a precipitous withdrawal from Afghanistan, our enemies in the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, the Haqqani network, were just planning to wait us out. We're here to stay. We're here to stay until they're defeated, until freedom wins.
The A-10 is most famous for its 30mm Gatling gun, beloved by U.S. ground troops for years, despite its old age. Melissa?
Lucas, thank you.
Well, 5 months of crucial text messages missing. Those messages passed between these two FBI officials. They could be used as evidence of agency bias against President Trump in the Russia investigation. How Attorney General Jeff Sessions is reacting.
I'm Admiral Tom Lynch, chairman of New Day USA. We hear from veterans all across the country. They worry a lot about being in debt and having the money they need for their families. Big credit card balances can add up over time, and now just making the minimum payments can break the family budget. Sound familiar? New Day USA can help.
Our New Day 100 Home Loan for Veterans lets you refinance your mortgage, consolidate your credit card debt, get cash, and lower your payments an average of $640 a month.
With a New Day 100 loan, New Day will even pay for your appraisal. At New Day USA, we understand veterans. My team will take the time to get to know you and look at your total picture. Refinance and take control of your credit card debt. Call New Day USA and get the financial peace of mind that you and your family deserve.
Go to newdayusa.com or call 1-844-329-1572.
I had tried losing the extra baby weight on my own, and it just was not coming off.
You know, you're just stranded kind of by yourself.
I was making poor decisions on my own. I couldn't do it by myself.
Jenny Craig proves one-on-one support works, and now we've supercharged our program to work faster. Introducing Rapid Results by Jenny Craig, the all-new way to lose up to 16 pounds in just 4 weeks. Jenny Craig always includes the support of your very own weight loss expert.
That is the difference with Jenny Craig. They're there to help you.
They're not going to be out there alone.
Lose up to 30% more weight with chef-crafted food you'll love.
They will give you the tools. It becomes second nature.
Get Rapid Results for $16 plus the cost of food, plus $70 in free food and free shipping.
I know what the program has done for me. I want other people to have that.
Start the new Rapid Results for $16 plus the cost of food. Hurry, this offer won't last long.
Hey, Janet.
Hey, Kim.
Can you suggest any good house painters?
Awesome. I'll take quotes from your
Top 4 guys and free background checks and reviews for each of them.
You can't expect your neighbors to do everything Home Advisor can. So to find and book a top-rated home pro for free, just ask Home Advisor.
This is where life expresses itself as an endless flow of energy. Are you ready? Atlantis. Bahamas at heart.
Book by January 31st for the best winter rates at 1-800-ATLANTIS or AtlantisBahamas.com.
My dentist said something interesting. My teeth are like an iceberg. There's a lot going on underneath that I can't see.
New Crest Gum Detoxify works below the gum line to neutralize harmful plaque bacteria and help reverse early gum damage. New Crest Gum Detoxify.
Sunday, on the next edition of Scandalous, the Paula Jones case hits the courtroom, a major shakeup in the investigation, and the shutdown that led to the first infamous White House encounter. All on the next Scandalous, Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox News Channel.
Well, no more touring for one of America's favorite singers. 77-year-old Neil Diamond announced he has Parkinson's disease, makes it hard for him to travel and perform, but he does plan to continue composing and recording. We wish him well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thank you so much for joining us.
Outnumbered starts right now.
Fox News alert, new developments in the Russia investigation. Justice Department officials confirming to Fox News. Special counsel Robert Mueller's team questioned Attorney General Jeff Sessions for several hours last week. This is Outnumbered. I'm Sandra Smith, and here today, Harris Faulkner, the editor of townhall.com, Katie Pavlich, former deputy spokesperson for the State Department, Marie Harf. And joining us on the couch today, Republican political strategist and former chief of staff to Senator Mitch McConnell. Josh Holmes is here, and he is outnumbered. A name, your former boss, one that has been in the news a lot lately.
Yeah, he had a good week. So it's Tuesday. He's already had a great week.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have a lot to get to, so we're going to begin. Good to have you here, Josh. Welcome. All right. Well, an Attorney General Jeff Sessions, the first member of President Trump's cabinet, known to be interviewed by Mueller's team. Last March, Sessions Sessions recused himself in the Russia investigation. And eventually his deputy, Rod Rosenstein, appointed Mueller to oversee the probe. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts joins us live with more. John.
Sandra, good afternoon to you. Good noon hour to everybody out there. This is the highest ranking member of the Trump administration who has been interviewed by the special counsel's office so far. For the most part, it's all been staff, current and former, but this now takes it up to the cabinet level. We're told that the interview took place sometime within the last week to 10 days, lasted several hours. Among the topics that Robert Mueller would have been interested in investigating, clearly, that whether or not there was collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia during the election. And you remember Jeff Sessions was one of then candidate Donald Trump's closest advisors. And then the other thing that Mueller's looking into is whether or not there was obstruction of justice in the firing of the former FBI director James Comey. White House officials will not weigh in on the substance of the interview, though a short time ago on Fox News, Raj Shah, the principal deputy press secretary, said that he believes that the Mueller investigation will soon wrap up and there will be no finding of any wrongdoing between the Trump campaign and Russia in terms of colluding to influence the American election. Listen here.
The White House's view is that it will be wrapping up in short order. We want it to be done thoroughly and above board, but we have confidence that the special counsel, again, is going to find what we've known all along. There's been no collusion and no findings of wrongdoing.
Now, for his part, Attorney General Jeff Sessions says that he is vowing to get to the bottom of why there are 6 months worth of missing text messages, numbering potentially as many as 50,000 that went between Peter Strzok, who was one of Mueller's chief investigators, and a woman that he was having an affair with, Lisa Page, who was an attorney at the FBI. These came to light as part of an Inspector General's report that the IG of the Department of Justice, Michael Horowitz, is putting together on all of this. That Horowitz report, I'm told, may be coming out sometime in the next few weeks, maybe a couple of months, and that when it finally lands, sources close to the investigation say it is going to have, they believe, a significant impact, because this will speak right to the heart of some of the people who were involved in that Mueller investigation. Sources close to the investigation also believe that the Devin Nunes 4-page memo, which may be released, sources say, sometime within the next couple of weeks, will have a significant impact as well. But all of this as well, particularly the Horowitz investigation, Sandra, having an impact on the special counsel's office, in that sources close to the investigation believe it may delay the wrap-up of the Mueller investigation. They were hopeful that he might be done by the end of this month, but the investigation continues, and nobody is quite sure when it will end. Sandra?
Just changing by the hour. John Roberts, thanks for all the updates on that and your reporting. And Josh, I go to you on this, but this is big news. This is the first member of the president's cabinet to be interviewed by Robert Mueller. Several hours it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's significant, but I think it was inevitable, right? Both because of Attorney General's role as Attorney General and with the dismissal of Comey, but also his role on the campaign. And so, clearly he was a key figure that the Mueller team needed to speak to. I think, this is not out of the ordinary in any form or fashion. And honestly, I think Raj Shah probably said it best from the White House's perspective. I think this is an indication that they're getting to the end of this investigation.
Really? Do you see it that way, Marie?
Well, there are some key things that have to happen first, though. And we've talked about the fact that President Trump very well may have to be interviewed by Bob Mueller. Until that happens, this is not wrapping up, I think. So we'll see. There are other key officials who have not been spoken to yet. I think Vice President Pence will probably have to as well. This will go on for many months. I think at this point, these things take time. Jeff Sessions is at the middle of a lot of this. And as we all have talked about when he went before Congress several times now, he has misremembered some things. He's had to clarify some statements about conversations with Russians. So it is not at all surprising that Bob Mueller would have had hours and hours of questions for Jeff Sessions, given his role, given what he said publicly about this.
But the entire reason why there's been a lot of controversy surrounding Jeff Sessions' recusal of himself from the Russia investigation, he's been heavily criticized by the president for doing so. The entire reason why he did that is precisely because of this. He did not believe he could be in charge of a Russia investigation and also be a witness at the same time. So it's important to point that out. In terms of when this is going to be over, we don't know. I mean, 6 months ago, the White House was saying that it's almost over, it's wrapping up. I think that's probably their way of trying to say we want it to wrap up soon. But none of us actually know who they're still going to interview, what exactly is going to happen, what charges may or may not be filed. We just don't know.
I spoke with Mercedes Schlapp earlier, strategic communications for the White House, and She didn't seem to hint that it was at the end she could only respond that they're fully cooperating and continuing on with the investigation.
Yeah, if the White House is playing its cards the way it has been, and so far it's been a neutral deck, which is where they want to be. They don't want to make news on what they think.
No, that's right.
They really don't want to jump the shark on this. And Mueller is helping them out by digging deeper and talking with people, because if it takes forever to get to the bottom of this, it only hurts the White House, no matter what the end game is, because you want to be able to focus on different things.
Yeah, look, I think clearly in any investigation, you don't start with the big fish, right? You probably wait for the Attorney General and the President of the United States until you get towards the end of it. So I think, look, we don't know. I think you're right. We don't know exactly when it all wraps up. But I do think it's probably an encouraging sign that they're now into the big fish, right? Jeff Sessions is clearly a central player in a lot of these. And if they can answer those questions, they probably are.
Yeah, a big fish, though, big fish who recused himself, though, can be complicated, because the president was not happy about that.
Yeah.
And the fact that if he was avoiding things to get to this point, how did he know he was going in this way? How did he suddenly, only the person who knew all of the facts would know that those facts would collide with the investigation.
Well, Jeff Sessions would argue, at least the Justice Department would argue, that he knew as soon as this investigation, or the surrounding investigations in Congress that came before the special counsel, the specific questions were about the campaign. And he was one of the very first senators to jump onto the Trump campaign. So inevitably, all of the questions surrounding the campaign, he would have to answer. And being in that position, legally, ethically, he believed that he had to recuse himself and couldn't be a witness in the case.
If he hadn't had a collision, though, of his memory and what happened with meetings, so on and so forth, in that very first hearing, how could he have even known where we would be today? That's the unfortunate part. That's the part that I believe probably chides the White House and the president, as they've said. They're not happy about the fact that he had to do that recusal.
Well, and that was his own doing. I mean, you're right, Harris. I remember, there wasn't a big push for recusal until it came out that he had not remembered fully when he testified before Congress. But the special counsel is basically looking at two things. One is whether there was collusion with Russia, and one is whether there was obstruction of justice in firing Jim Comey. Sessions is really at the center of both of those. And he's unique in that because he was part of the campaign and part of the decision making when they got rid of Comey.
You know what's ironic, though?
Look at
the situation where Mueller is with his employees around him having, and I know we're going to talk about this a little bit later, having, oh, goodness gracious, what did I do with those thousands of text messages?
Right, I can't remember where I put them.
The same thing that you were maybe accusing, back in the day of the secret server with Hillary Clinton. I mean, it's very troubling for Mueller right now. He's in kind of an awkward position. So it's interesting to see that juxtaposed with, the AG now going to talk with him. It's just an observation.
The way that the questions were asked during the hearings with Jeff Sessions, he was accused of meeting with the Russian ambassador. When we dug a little deeper, we found out he actually was meeting with multiple people at an event at the RNC convention. It doesn't count as a private meeting. And so the way the questions
should have said that then.
But the questions were framed as, did you meet with so-and-so? And he said no. And then it was framed in the narrative as, well, you did meet with him because you happened to have a quick conversation with him at a random RNC convention meeting. And so the definition of what exactly the meeting was has been changed multiple times.
There was more than one meeting. There was one before President Trump's foreign policy speech that he gave in Washington. There was one which was private. There was one at the RNC, and there were other conversations. So again,
what does it have to do with collusion?
Well, but then
I don't know, but you have to answer the question correctly when they ask you.
Exactly, you have to.
It may have nothing to do with collusion. And so far, the evidence shows that it has nothing to do with collusion. But when somebody asks you, you do have to.
But if you ask the question, did you meet with him privately versus did you meet him at all? I mean, I've met with multiple people in a group setting that I maybe wouldn't remember. If you're asking specifically about a meeting with a Russian ambassador, then that's different.
Josh, one last word to you.
Well, look, I think all of this, the fact that we don't have this all even sorted out on the couch, probably is uncomfortable as it is. I think Jeff Sessions made the right decision to recuse himself in here. And I think he's probably in a position today to clear this all up and actually for the betterment of the Trump administration as a result of it.
All right. You do get final word on that. And by the way, did you know the shutdown is over? Well, now that it is, there is growing liberal backlash against Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, whether he should have held out for a better deal, or was ending the shutdown more important than appeasing progressives? And House Republicans are hoping a memo allegedly containing what some call jaw-dropping revelations about government surveillance abuses will soon be made public. Whether we'll see it and whether Americans will be as shocked as lawmakers say they will be.
This program is brought to you by Lear Capital.
Is your retirement invested in the stock market? In our world of fake news, here's what they're not telling you. Gold has outperformed the Dow for the past 17 years. That's the real news. Numbers don't lie. In the year 2000, if you invested $100,000 in the Dow, it would be worth about $197,000 today. But had you diversified just 20% of that into gold, your investment would be worth $248,000, 26% more. Call Lear Capital, rated #1 by Consumer Affairs. Lear is your 5-star leader in precious metals IRAs. Get your free precious metals IRA guide. See how diversifying just a portion of your IRA into gold can help protect and grow your wealth. First-time investors, find out how you can get a $2,000 IRA bonus. Don't wait. Call 800-885-1700. 800-885-1700. Call now.
You might take something for your heart or joints, but do you take something for your brain? With an ingredient originally found in jellyfish, Prevagen is the #1 selling brain health supplement in drugstores nationwide. Prevagen, the name to remember.
This is a ClassAction.com alert. The shingles vaccine Zostavax is supposed to prevent shingles, but may actually cause shingles and other injuries, including vision problems, hearing loss, stroke, pneumonia, and more, even death. If you received the Zostavax vaccine and were diagnosed with shingles or suffered injuries as a result, you may be eligible to claim compensation for medical bills, lost wages, and pain and suffering. Call the number on your screen or visit ClassAction.com. ClassAction.com. Information, protection, justice.
In 3 days, see the film critics are calling stunning, magnificent, beautiful, astounding. Don't miss Hostels. Rated R. Now playing select cities everywhere Friday.
For over 200 years, the stock market has been going up and down like a roller coaster. And it seems like everybody's giving you advice on what you should do with your retirement money. But most people just want to earn a reasonable rate of return and keep it simple. Is that what you want? Get your investor's kit and learn how to never lose money when the market goes down and earn a reasonable rate of return. And on the DVD, I'll personally explain how it works. You decide if it's right for you.
Call 800-557-7379 or tyjyoung.net.
Hi, I'm Joan Lennon with A Place for Mom. Every day we hear from families who partnered with a senior living advisor from A Place for Mom to help find the perfect place for their mom or dad.
Thank you so much for your assistance in helping us find a place. Mom feels safe and comfortable and has met many wonderful residents and staffers.
Thank you for helping our family find our father a new home. We especially appreciate the information about the VA Aid and Attendance Program.
I feel I found the right place, a perfect fit. You were my angel and helped guide me every step of the way. Thank you.
The Senior Living Advisors at A Place for Mom partner with thousands of families every month, listening and offering local knowledge and advice to help find the best senior living communities across the country. And it won't cost you a cent. This is a free service. Call today. A Place for Mom. You know your family. We know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
Fox News alert on what could be a growing divide in the Democratic Party now that the government shutdown is over. President Trump last night signed the temporary spending bill into law after Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell reached a deal. Now Schumer is coming under fire. Progressives say he caved to protect vulnerable Democrats up for re-election in red states. They say the deal he made does not guarantee any protections for Dreamers, those immigrants who came here illegally as children. Senator Dianne Feinstein says this, quote, "It's a great disappointment to me, and it's a great disappointment to more than 300,000 DACA young people in the state of California. The strategy was to keep it fixed to a must-pass vehicle because there was great worry that the House was not going to pass it. I'm just very disappointed." Some are reportedly threatening primary challenges. One activist telling the New York Times this: "The grassroots are rightly furious with a slew of elected Democrats. In the Obama years, Republicans learned to be more afraid of primary challenges than general elections. But Democrats are still operating as though the Tea Party is more powerful than the resistance," end quote. More moderate Democrats are defending Schumer, including Senator Claire McCaskill of Missouri. Watch.
I understand what the leadership did. I respect it. And I do think we got a result, and that is the promises that have been made. And by the way, As has been said earlier on your show today, what happened here was the trust of the Republicans that were part of this deal, not the trust of Mitch McConnell. So to all the progressives that say, why would you trust Mitch McConnell? We didn't. We trusted the 12 Republicans that could make his life miserable.
Meanwhile, Josh, you're laughing. I'm not done yet. There might be more. President Trump tweeted, big win for Republicans as Democrats cave on shutdown. Now I want a big win for everyone, including Republicans, Democrats, and DACA, but especially for our great military and border security. Should be able to get there. See you at the negotiating table, exclamation point, excitement. I think that's what that conveys. Josh?
You're dying over there.
Yeah, well, there's no greater defender than Chuck Schumer than Claire McCaskill, and she's done it again. Look, I think Chuck Schumer got a real lesson in legislative politics in real time, and it frankly played out in kind of an embarrassing fashion. The way that he went into this is they were very responsive to a liberal base that wanted him to shut down the government, and once he got to the precipice of doing that, he couldn't turn back. And once he couldn't turn back, he got over the ledge, and all of your negotiating power goes away, right? I mean, at the end of the day, that discussion was about whether or not it was appropriate to take away the government services for all of the Americans across the country, defense, children's health care, you name it, in order to deal with an issue of illegal immigration that dealt with people who would like to become Americans, right? So what is our government
Not just that
for,
they would like
right?
to become Americans, though, Katie, because this issue is more about the illegality of things, too.
Right.
I mean, that's a hard argument to make in the midst of a shutdown. You can make it across the aisle, and that's what they say they can do in a bipartisan manner outside of that.
Yeah, I mean, Dianne Feinstein argues that they attached it to this, so it would be a must pass. But again, Democrats are completely out of touch with the American people on how to get this done in a legitimate, legal way. The majority of Americans, according to a Harvard poll yesterday, say, look, we want DACA to pass. We think that those people should be able to stay, but we do not believe you should shut down the government in favor of people who were brought here illegally. It's pretty fair and simple. And my concern, and I think a lot of people feel this way, is we only have a few days before we could go through all of this again. And what does that show about the chaos surrounding these kinds of issues? They want it done by, what, February 8th?
Yeah.
And yet again, it doesn't expire until March. And Democrats have to figure out where the goalposts are here. Are we just talking about DACA? We heard from the Homeland Security Secretary during testimony last week that there has been an increase in the last 3 months, as DACA talk has gone on, of unaccompanied minors and their parents coming across the border. Do they get to stay too?
Yeah.
Do they get to stay? They're brought here illegally by their parents. Does that count?
I think Republicans also have to decide where the goalposts are, because I give Mitch McConnell a lot of credit. He gave Democrats something that was important to us by making that commitment to have this discussion. The problem, I think, now is House Republicans, who have been very clear in saying we don't care what the Republicans in the Senate do. So the Republican Party and the White House need to get on the same page. But what I would say to progressives who are mad at Chuck Schumer, guys, elections have consequences. We're not in the majority. As much as you wish in some fantasy land we could control things and force DACA through a shutdown, that is not how governing works. And if you're going to go vote for someone else, who are you going to look for to better defend?
That's a great question,
to better
actually,
defend
Marie.
you.
Possibly one you could answer.
Well, I would make the argument that to progressives that there are two parties who run in elections, and the only party, I would argue, who has made DACA a priority is Democrats. And you may be mad at Chuck Schumer, but unfortunately, governing is much harder than carrying signs and protesting.
So welcome to the wonderful world of primary politics.
I know.
This is where Democrats are going.
But we all hate. But actually,
dim on dim crime.
It's. I actually think this is a momentary blip. I actually don't think you're going to see a lot of primaries before 2018. The midterms, it's almost too late for that.
Would you have wanted to see Chuck Schumer hold out for more?
On Friday, I think on this show said if we get an explicit commitment from Mitch McConnell to take up DACA, then we should not shut the government down. I think Chuck Schumer made the right decision.
That's pretty much what they had on Friday. And so my question, Josh, is did we have to see a government shutdown to get what Chuck Schumer just got?
No. I mean, we were on this path. This was what was happening. They were currently negotiating.
The president had met with him on Friday?
Absolutely. All of this was happening. They decided to throw the government into
So why
chaos.
go there?
Well, you'll have to ask them. I don't think it turned out the way they wanted it to, though.
Wanted it.
Interesting. All right, we'll move on. Republicans sounding off on the anti-Trump FBI agent who once worked on the Mueller investigation. What we are learning about the eye-popping number of text messages he exchanged with that other agent. Trey Gowdy has called her a paramour. Plus, the explosive memo making the rounds on Capitol Hill said to show the Obama administration spied on the Trump campaign. The shocking allegations leaving some lawmakers nearly speechless.
Termination would be the least of these people's worries once they get to see the documents.
right, I brought in high protein to help get us moving and help you feel more strength and energy in just 2 weeks. I'll take that.
Ensure High Protein with 16 grams of protein and 4 grams of sugar. Ensure, always be you.
The time to invest in silver is now. Silver prices are already undervalued. With mine production expected to fall, silver is poised to skyrocket in the coming years. Are you ready to take advantage of this opportunity? Silver is a natural hedge against inflation and can help counteract painful market corrections. The potential to profit from silver in both good times and bad makes it a superior investment to own both inside and outside of an IRA. To learn how you can protect your financial future with silver, call Augusta Precious Metals today and request your free guide, 6 Secrets of Silver Investing, and discover how you can get up to $2,000 in silver free. Act now, and you'll also receive Augusta's Guide to Silver IRAs. Call 866-400-3200 today to receive your free guides from Augusta Precious Metals, where gold and silver have been the family business for more than 40 years. Call Augusta now.
Peeling hard-boiled eggs is such a hassle. It takes forever and makes such a mess. Now make hard-boiled eggs the fast and easy way. Introducing Egglets, the new silicone sensation that lets you cook hard-boiled eggs without the shell. Just crack open the egg into the Egglets pod, twist on the top, and boil on your stovetop. In minutes, pop them out of the pod for perfect hard-boiled eggs. No hassle, no mess. The secret is the thermodynamic non-stick silicone material that allows the egg to cook just like it would inside the shell. No broken egg whites and no peeling. Now that's appealing. Make delicious deviled eggs, tasty egg salad. Make a mouth-watering chef salad without ever peeling an egg. Crack, boil, and pop with Egglets for perfect hard-boiled eggs every time. And Egglets is great for soft-boiled eggs too. Add cheese, onions, mushrooms, peppers, all your favorite vegetables for delicious omelets. Make an egg white omelet or use egg substitutes for healthy cholesterol-free food. Create fun-filled breakfast the little ones will love. Make Egglets in advance and store in the fridge. Ideal for breakfast on the go or a power-packed snack. Easy to clean, dishwasher-safe Egglets. Don't waste your time picking and peeling hard-boiled shells. Now just crack, boil, and pop with Egglets for perfect hard-boiled eggs without the hassle. Get your trio of Egglets for just $14.99. But wait, call now and we'll double your offer and give you 3 more Egglets absolutely free. With your order, you'll get the Egglets recipe guide. That's 6 Egglets and the recipe guide for only $14.99. And in this exclusive TV offer, you'll get the microwave egg cooker to make on-the-go egg muffins in just minutes. You get it all for $14.99. So don't wait. Order today.
To order your Egglets, call 1-800-713-6135. That's 1-800-713-6135. Or you can visit online at getegglets.com. That's getegglets.com. Don't delay. Call or click today.
Hey, Janet. Hey, Kim. Can you suggest any good house painters? Awesome. I'll take quotes from your top 4 guys and free background checks and reviews for each of them. Bye.
You can't expect your neighbors to do everything HomeAdvisor can. So to find and book a top-rated home pro for free, just ask HomeAdvisor.
Patrick woke up with a sore back, but he's got work to do. So he took a leave this morning. If he'd taken Tylenol, he'd be stopping for more pills right now. Only Aleve has the strength to stop tough pain for up to 12 hours with just 1 pill. Tylenol can't do that. Aleve, all day strong, all day long. And for pain relief and a good night's rest, try Aleve PM for a better aim.
Well, the Justice Department investigating after the revelation that the FBI, quote, failed to preserve 5 months of text messages between those two Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. The missing messages span a crucial window between the presidential transition and the launch of Robert Mueller's Russia probe. Attorney General Jeff Sessions saying, quote, we will leave no stone unturned to confirm with certainty why these text messages are now not available to be produced, and will use every technology available to determine whether the missing messages are recoverable from another source. If any wrongdoing were to have been found to have caused this gap, appropriate legal disciplinary action measures will be taken. House Oversight Committee Chairman Trey Gowdy weighing in earlier today.
We're missing 5 months worth of text, so God only knows what else was said. Yeah, that's a really important time period. Sessions has recused himself. Bob Mueller is coming on board. I happen to like him. I respect him. I think he's going to do a good job. But if he's picking guys like Peter Strzok and Lisa Page to be on his team, and they're only interested in being on the team if they can, quote, get the president, they have no interest in clearing him, then he had some hiring failures of epic proportion.
In one message, Strzok sent Page back in May 2017. The FBI agent debates whether he should join special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia probe, saying in it, quote, "You and I both know the odds are nothing. If I thought it was likely, I'd be there, no question. I hesitate in part because of my gut sense and concerned there's no big there. Some believe he is talking about evidence of collusion, of course. And to Trey Gowdy's point, Josh, who knows what else is in those text messages that can't be found?
No, I know. I was always taught that anything you do on the internet is automatically preserved forever.
It is.
And everybody can see it. But, there's an exception in the rule when it comes to high-ranking liberal officials. Because in this case, and then if you think back, obviously the Hillary Clinton email case and the IRS investigation, all of these emails went missing. I mean, they've got a secret here the rest of us need to get in on, because I don't know how the heck.
And as the president points out, this is during that crucial period making this potentially huge news, Marie.
And potentially not huge news. We'll see, right? I think.
Does that concern you that
these
text messages are missing?
Honestly, of all the things that concern me, this is not in like the top 20 of what's happening in the world today and in our country. I've always said we need to hear from these two individuals because there's been so much speculation about what their text messages meant. And if anyone read our text messages, who knows what people would think, right?
Can I suggest why they might not want that? Because one of them is married.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking really honestly here. It gets complicated, but if there were 50,000 of these that are missing,
50,000 is the total number the FBI looked at. We don't know how many are missing.
So there might be more.
50,000. I've been married almost 15 years. I would be pressed to know, well, texting hasn't been around as popular as it is now my entire marriage, but that's a lot of messages between two people that some of them were work-related, anti-Trump.
Sure.
We could easily look away from those.
We
want the important ones.
Right. Why are we paying these people to sit and text 100 times a day to each other?
It's an excellent question.
I mean, we're paying their salaries, we're paying their paid vacation, we're paying them by the yearly salary to be doing that. The second thing is, I find it amazing that liberals are now stuck on this idea because they don't have any evidence of collusion. So now they're going to, well, it's all about obstruction of justice. But 50,000 emails in a case, a criminal case, surrounding a criminal case, and a special counsel about whether the President of the United States was colluding with Russians. Now, all of a sudden, the 50,000 emails or text messages that are gone don't really matter much when it comes to obstruction of justice.
I'm not saying they don't matter much. I'm just saying that I think what is happening on the right is that people are taking huge leaps of assumption about things that they don't have evidence for.
It's written in the text.
There's a few too many coincidences for us to just look the other way on this.
But let me just finish, though, that I think the right has put so much power in the hands of these two people and forgotten the fact that they
were high-ranking FBI officials assigned to the Mueller probe.
And so are many high-ranking FBI officials who work on the Mueller investigation who like President Trump.
I think they should be charged with obstruction of justice.
Do you have a problem with the fact that anything goes missing at the FBI and they can't find it for an investigation? Let's just pretend like it's not even this case. I mean, it's the FBI.
Well, it seems impossible, right? But I mean, look.
Federal government's not impossible.
Right.
But this is the FBI. They're supposed to be good at finding stuff.
To your point we've put too much faith and trust that these two were kind of all powerful. Well, look, liberals would have you believe that this George Papadopoulos guy, who nobody's ever heard of and definitely had no power within the construct of a campaign, somehow constructed this elaborate scheme to collude with the Russian government and elect Donald Trump president. If you want to start about weird schemes and bizarre kind of witch hunts, it doesn't get any better than that.
Well, can you imagine anybody who's being investigated by the special counsel or the FBI saying, sorry, I lost 50,000 of my text messages from the period of time that you need for your criminal investigation?
Why do they need them?
Because they are referring to, on company time, on government taxpayer time, taking out a presidential candidate in a way of a secret society or meeting in the offices of the FBI to talk about an insurance policy just in case the president wins, making sure that Hillary Clinton maybe doesn't face charges. Loretta Lynch knew about the fact that she wasn't going to face charges when she met with Bill Clinton on that tarmac in secret and then got caught. These things actually matter because it's about corruption. A lot of people want to say that the federal government is just incompetent. The first thing I think of is corruption corruption, and this is just another example of that.
And we wouldn't be talking about it if they didn't have really senior positions in both investigations, right? So, I mean,
my point has always been, I've never defended their behavior or what they said. My point is always to say they had bad behavior, and then because of that, the Mueller investigation is total crap, or what the FBI decided on. Wait, I'm just saying, like, to take that big leap, I think is unfair.
You said why these particular text messages, and I know you guys.
We don't know what's in them.
We talked about it. It's not 50,000 that are missing, but there's some in that realm.
Right.
It has to do with the timing that Sandra was pointing to. The timing of these conversations. They're looking for bias inside the FBI. That's what it has to do with as well, probably quite significantly.
Well,
Maybe. We don't know.
Is that just a coincidence, do you really think? Because it's that crucial time period between the transition.
Honestly, I think the federal government does things all the time that look like, on the outside, like maybe there's some big conspiracy and it's just incompetence.
And then we find out later that it was actually a deliberate deletion.
Or maybe
we'll
isn't.
find out.
I mean, we don't know.
They are calling the revelations
Putting that conspiracy theory out
House
there.
Republicans hopeful that a memo they say shows the Obama White House spied on the Trump campaign will soon be public. Dave Joyce, a Republican from Ohio, says the Intelligence Committee plans to work on releasing the 4-page document, but warns that once Americans see it, they'll be surprised how bad it is.
I read it twice just to make sure I read it properly, and it was deeply disturbing, as anybody who's been in law enforcement and any American will find out once they have the opportunity to review it. Termination would be the least of these people's worries once they get to see the documents.
Sources telling Fox News that Republicans Bob Goodlatte, Devin Nunes, and Trey Gowdy are moving ahead as quickly as they can to get the memo into the public domain. And according to sources, Republican House Intel leaders have so far denied the FBI access to the memo, citing concerns the Bureau has not been an honest broker in sharing information. Adam Schiff, ranking Democrat in the House Intelligence Committee, slamming the memo, saying it is, quote, rife with factual inaccuracies and referencing highly classified materials that most Republican Intelligence Committee members were forced to acknowledge they had never read. This is meant only to give Republican House members a distorted view of the FBI. This may help carry White House water, but is a deep disservice to our law enforcement professionals. Josh, yeah, they've sure made a big deal out of this memo. It seems like they have to deliver at this point.
Yeah, they definitely have to. We have to see the contents of this memo. Let me just preface it by that. But let me just say something that's going to irritate some of my conservative friends. I'm deeply disturbed by the classification of any classified information in any form whatsoever. I think perhaps the congressman felt as though the only way they could get this information out would be to go public. And if that's the case, I understand it. What troubles me is having this public discourse where congressmen by the hundreds are going out and reviewing something that the rest of the American public cannot, and then providing a take that formulates a view of what this actually says without anybody actually having the ability to fact check that.
Right.
And it's classified. And now we're in a situation, I think, where we have to declassify, have to get it out there. And I don't know what's in that kind. None of us
have
do.
any unmasking concerns here?
Oh, I have concerns about all of it.
You know what? You know what? A pox on both our houses. Because see, Rand Paul tried to get everybody to understand where we were with the collection of this information. And if Americans get scooped up in this was a conversation that we could have had 2 weeks ago and maybe made our road forward a lot smoother in terms of not being able to harm Americans, damage them. You're right. We don't know what's in it. But it's interesting to have this conversation after the FISA Section 702 was just renewed.
But I also think there should be a bipartisan way to look at FISA, to look at the unmasking process, which has been around for a long time. Both administrations of both parties have used it. I actually think there's a way to look at this issue and maybe make some reforms. But Devin Nunes and
you just need warrants. We could have done it less than 2 weeks ago.
Okay, wait, but let me just finish what I was going to say. Trey Gowdy and Devin Nunes writing this in secret, using very highly classified material. Josh is right. Then talking about it, I'm not sure this can all actually be declassified and keep sources and methods safe. So I think there's a way to do it. Devin Nunes trying to, cherry pick information, not bring in Democrats who care about this, not bring in people like Rand Paul. That does do a disservice to the conversation.
But Sandra, what about that? Because if Republicans are going to be using this and taking highly classified information and making it public on behalf of the American people, as they say, but they're still going to pass through FISA without any reforms, isn't this going to prompt calls for reforms? And is that something that's going to be on the agenda?
So go from classified to jaw-dropping, which is being used to describe this, what we would potentially see. I would have to know, and I think everybody else would have to know, is it actually going to be the jaw-dropping information and revelations that everyone's expecting at this point?
Yeah, I mean, that's the big question. And honestly, we don't even know with respect to 702 whether or not this is something that is significant in terms of its application for this collection.
If there will be anybody caught up on this, and if there is any unmasking. We don't know.
We don't know. 702 is an important program. It has kept us safe for a whole lot of years. And so even that, I don't want to jump to the conclusion that we're somehow in a situation where people are misusing it, because we just don't know. But unfortunately, now we're in a situation where we have to know.
Yeah. Well, and if warrants are issued, we won't have to worry about it.
Yeah, we'll have to see. All right, well, all eyes on immigration reform as Democrats demand protections for the Dreamers by the new February 8th spending bill deadline. How much will each side give and take? Who has the upper hand? And could we end up right back where we started?
Hi, I'm William Devane. And you know, these days we take a lot for granted. Used to be just having wood for the fire and a little food for your table was all you needed to feel secure. Not anymore. Now rising debt is chopping away at the value of our dollar, like this. And that troubles me, which is why I buy gold as often as I can. I buy my gold from Roslyn Capital because I trust them. Roslyn has the fastest shipping and the best customer service around. With all the money printed by shaky governments, protecting my purchasing power against the rising threat of inflation is more critical now than ever. Protect what you've worked hard for. Buy gold from Roslyn Capital.
Call now and get your free Roslyn Capital Gold Kit, Silver Kit, and free IRA Transfer Kit. Call 800-630-8900, 800-630-8900, 800-630-8900.
It was getting to be a struggle to get in and out of the tub.
Yeah, we were really worried about falling.
And we needed a solution to stay safe in our own home.
So we got an American Standard walk-in bath.
American Standard is celebrating over 140 years in business with our best offer on our Liberation walk-in baths.
They have a lifetime warranty on the bath, the installation, including the labor. I've never heard of that before.
American Standard has the only walk-in bath with over 20 comfort and safety features, including an ultra-low entryway, 44 massaging jets to help relieve aches and pains, and our patented quick drain technology, which drains your bath in less than 2 minutes. Other brands can leave you sitting in the cold. So call now for your free information kit. For a limited time, get $1,500 in savings, including a free American Standard right height toilet.
Don't delay. Call 1-800-425-8414 for your free information kit and $1,500 in savings, including a free toilet. That's 1-800-425-8414.
It's time to drop all those unhealthy pounds that have been weighing you down.
I'm Michelle, and I dropped 41 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Introducing new for 2018, Turbo 13, our best program ever. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month. Lose weight fast, money back guaranteed.
I'm Marie, and I dropped 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Order your 28-day plan right now, and we'll rush you Turbo 13 with specially designed meals. Plus 1 week of all new NutriCurb bars to curb cravings free. 1 week of Turbo Shakes to help shrink your belly free. And 1 week of all new Turbo Boosters to rev your metabolism free.
79 pounds down.
Call or go online in the next 2 minutes, and we'll even throw in FedEx shipping free. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month.
If I can do it, you can do it. Join me in the millions of people who have lost weight with Nutrisystem.
Go online or call 888-652-SIZE right now and get Turbo 13 with bars, shakes, and turbo boosters free.
I wanted to know who I am and where I came from. I did my Ancestry DNA, and I couldn't wait to get my pie chart. The most shocking result was that I'm 26% Native American. I had no idea. Just to know this is what I'm made of, this is where my ancestors came from, and I absolutely want to know more about my Native American heritage. It's opened up a whole new world for me.
Discover the story only your DNA can tell. Order your kit now at AncestryDNA.com.
New Olay Whips. Powerful skincare. Now light as air. A breakthrough moisturizer. Delightfully whipped for instant absorption. Feel a light as air finish in a flash. New Olay Whips. Ageless.
All eyes on immigration reform after Democrats voted to pass yet another stopgap spending bill yesterday to fund the government through February 8th. The move came after Republicans said the Senate would negotiate a Dreamers deal as long as the government was reopened. Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal says he's hopeful Republicans will keep that promise.
The promise made by the majority leader is very important. And the principle that was established that we believe that the Dreamers deserve this protection, I think, highlighted it for the whole nation. Opening the government was a common goal, and we have common goals now going forward of holding the majority leader accountable. He must keep his promise that was made on the floor of the Senate in everybody's view several times, and that provides a basis for going forward.
Yeah. Some Democrats, though, were more critical of the decision to trust Republicans and end the shutdown without protections for Dreamers. He just said that they were talking about putting that in place. Senator Kamala Harris, who opposed the stopgap bill, says of Majority Leader McConnell, quote, "I don't believe he made any commitment whatsoever, and I think it would be foolhardy to believe that he made a commitment," end quote. Meanwhile, President Trump tweeted this: "Nobody knows for sure that the Republicans and Democrats will be able to reach a deal on DACA by Feb 8th, but everyone will be trying, with a big additional focus put on military strength and border security. The Dems have just learned that a shutdown is not the answer." And then this is making news now, Josh. So talk about your broken promises. I don't know. Does this fit in that category? Senator Chuck Schumer now says that he is taking his spending boost for the president's border wall off the table. The Senate Minority Leader, through an aide, has informed the White House that he was retracting the offer he made last week to give the president well north of the $1.6 billion in wall funding that previously was promised.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think by all published...
I'm reclaiming my money for the wall, basically.
Yeah, you know, what he did there was sort of a bait and switch anyway. What he offered was an authorization, not an appropriation. An authorization, in fact, that has existed since 2006 when Chuck Schumer himself, along with Senate Democrats and a bipartisan group of Republicans, voted to put the wall
So what is he
authorization
withdrawing
in the first place. Well, that's the whole point, right? This has all been kind of a bait and switch type effort from the very beginning. And I think there is a common goal. The common goal is I think there is a broad bipartisan view that we should do something about the DACA situation. But there is also Republican priorities dealing with chain migration, the family-based, merit-based system, and border security, namely a wall. Those three things are not unreasonable. In fact, everyone cites poll numbers about DACA. Nobody cites poll numbers about those three things. Together, they make a heck of a deal, and I don't understand why Chuck Schumer and everybody else can't get to the
So you're
table with
saying that there wasn't an actual $1.6 billion on the table. There was some talk, like right around there, you know, remember Chuck Schumer was on the floor. And he was talking about this issue, that there might even be more money. What happened, Marie?
Well, both sides, I mean, Donald Trump also put a bunch of things on the table and then decided they weren't good enough for him. So both sides here are doing a little bait and switch. That's how this often works in Washington. I actually have a little more faith that the Senate can get to something like you're talking about. I think the senators on both sides of the aisle have made clear that they are negotiating in good faith. What I have much less faith in is the House. And, you know, we heard House Republicans say even this morning that they're not even going to look at what the Senate does and said on the record their base won't support it. So maybe there's a scenario where you can get
honestly say that they're negotiating in good faith, Katie.
Yes, I can.
Lindsey Graham and Dick Durbin showed up at the White House with this apparent deal for the president that didn't look anything like they discussed at that lovely bipartisan
It actually looked a lot like what they discussed.
Actually,
it looked a lot like what they discussed. I think you could get a bill that passes the Senate in the House, Katie, where you lose like the Freedom Caucus, but you get Democrats.
Yesterday, Chuck Schumer, as soon as he was announcing that he was reopening the government, he tweeted out a warning to Republicans and said, you have 17 days to come up with a DACA fix. Democrats, by tying DACA again to the spending bill, have put DACA into a position where it's going to fail because it is being treated as an add-on and not as a serious issue as it should be. And Democrats are doing it for political reasons because they will never allow a Republican to take credit for the amnesty that will come with DACA because they are the ones who want credit for it. When the president asks for things like chain migration to be ended, he's doing it for good reason. We've had a number of terrorists in this country who have killed American citizens on our soil who have come here as a result of chain migration or the diversity visa lottery program. He's putting national security on the table in exchange for something that everybody supports, and they have to be able to get to it. But Democrats, because of the timeline that they've set up, are setting it up to fail, as they did the first time around.
So interesting. I know we will revisit this topic many times, at least over the next 17 days. By the way, they don't have that many legislative days left. They've only got like 6.
So good luck.
So it
Work
whittles
harder,
down even more.
Congress,
But they
do your
could
job.
choose to
There's
work
no
extra
bill.
hours like we do sometimes to get our jobs.
I know, shocking.
While thousands of women took to the streets to protest President Trump's one-year anniversary in office on Saturday, a new poll finds the president's approval rating is rising among men. We'll talk about the effect of this apparent gender gap and what it tells us about the midterm elections in 2020. Stay close.
I would like to take a moment to address my fellow veterans because I know there are so many of you who have served your country honorably, whether it's 2 years, 4 years, or 32 years like myself. One of the benefits that we as a country give you as a veteran is your eligibility for a VA loan. Not 80%, but 100% the value of your home, and that's what you can get at New Day USA.
Go to newdayusa.com or call 1-844-647-6712. It's a new day for veterans who need money for their family. Home values are going up, and home equity lending is back. That's me. New Day USA has helped thousands of veterans close in as little as 30 days through their valuable VA home loan.
That's me.
Cash to pay credit cards, cash for retirement, or cash just to put in the bank. It's a new day in lending, and for veterans who need money, that can mean a lot.
That's me.
Call New Day USA at 1-844-647-6712.
Get new floors during Empire Today's gigantic 75% off sale. That's carpet, tile, laminate, and even hardwood, 75% off. Empire makes beautiful new floors easy. See samples in your home, get a free estimate during your appointment, and have your floors professionally installed. Update your floors with Empire and get 75% off carpet, tile, laminate, and hardwood. Schedule now.
800-588-2300 Empire. Today.
Loretta Lynch controversy. Does new evidence prove she coordinated with Comey during the Clinton probe? Jonathan Turley has insight you can't miss on the story.
Who can be a victim of identity theft? Anyone. You, me, even reality TV star and owner of the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, Rick Harrison.
Identity thieves don't care who you are. They just want the money. My identity was stolen. I had over a dozen credit cards and accounts all across the country. I don't know how to fix identity theft.
Rick Harrison helps protect his identity with LifeLock.
Over a dozen accounts were opened in my name, and LifeLock helped fix things every time.
Credit card notifications and checking statements don't show you enough. Even if you monitor your credit, you can miss certain identity theft threats. LifeLock's proprietary network sees more, like your information being sold on the dark web. If there is a problem, our U.S.-based restoration agents dedicated to your case will work to fix it.
As a LifeLock member, I have a whole team of people who've got my back. If there's a problem, I got my guys.
When someone takes what's yours, you want it back. With LifeLock's $1 Million Protection Package, if your money is taken or if you have expenses due to identity theft, LifeLock will either get it back for you or reimburse you for it up to the limit of your plan. Plus, we'll provide lawyers and experts if that's what it takes.
When I don't know enough about something, I call in an expert. When it comes to my identity, the expert I use is LifeLock.
Join today for as low as $9.99 per month and get 30 days free with promo code JOINNOW. LifeLock members get identity threat detection and alerts, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration agent assigned to your case, and you'll be covered by LifeLock's $1 Million Protection Package. Start your membership today. Enroll in minutes.
It's sort of like having your big 400-pound bodyguard standing next to you. No. Deal with him.
LifeLock. Call 1-800-495-0973 or visit LifeLockSpecial.com. Use promo code JOINNOW to get 30 days free and a free shredder with annual membership. Call right now.
More Outnumbered in just a moment, but first let's go to Harris. She's got what's coming up in Outnumbered Overtime in just a few minutes. Hey, Harris.
Working on the next one. White House Deputy Press Secretary Hogan Gidley will join me. I'm going to ask him, what does the White House make of the special counsel Mueller interviewing Attorney General Jeff Sessions in the Russia investigation? This is the first known time that Mueller's investigation has gone inside the president's cabinet. Also joining me next hour, House Judiciary Chair Bob Goodlatte on Jeff Sessions vowing to get to the bottom of those months' worth of missing text messages between the two FBI officials who were having that affair, who exchanged anti-Trump messages. Will we get answers on it? Will anybody be held accountable? That and more on Overtime. OT, baby, top of the hour, Sandra.
looking forward to it. Harris, thank you. Sure. Marie?
Well, there's new signs of a gender gap in support for President Trump. Over the weekend, thousands of women marking the president's first anniversary in office by marching in protest Saturday in cities like New York City and Washington. And while surveys show the president has struggled with women, the latest CNN poll put his disapproval among the group at 65%. It's a much different story among men. That same poll shows the president's approval among that group jumping to 49%, an 8-point rise. The poll also found the president's approval improved 10 points among conservatives and 7 points among independents, but mostly among those independents who lean toward the Republican Party already. So, Josh, there's also been reports that RNC chairwoman has told the White House she's worried about their support with women, particularly in the midterms. What do you think? Does the Republican Party have a women problem?
I mean, I'm clearly the least qualified on this couch.
That's why I went to you on it first.
To talk through this, but I will say this. Democrats have, at least for the last decade, made a centerpiece of every political campaign a concerted effort to try to drive a wedge in identity politics, and one of them is gender. And so you see all of the marches that happened over the weekend. You saw all the marches after the inauguration. The goal of all of that is to somehow try to represent that this president doesn't represent women. And it's a concerted effort. It's a huge campaign. It's funded by millions and millions of dollars. So to the extent that there is a gender gap that is growing, look, campaigns work.
Well, I would also say the president's own words give a lot of fodder to people who think maybe he could treat women a little better. We've had this story recently about the porn star Stormy Daniels.
I'm pretty sure. I just think that gets
Sandra,
away from what women really care about. I don't think that that's fair. I mean,
I think it's something you see in polls that a story people are saying, wait a second.
If you ask people directly, can the president choose different language? Of course, people are going to say, okay, yeah.
Well, and do you think that will impact how women vote?
But I'm saying what women care about is their families, their pocketbook, the economy. And if a strong economy is a direct reflection of the party in power, women will continue to vote that direction. Right now, the talk, I'm around young families all the time, and people feel good about the current situation. They feel good about the economy. Unemployment is down. Jobs are growing. They like what they're seeing and feeling. I don't dig deeper into who they're going to vote for in the next election. But the economy is huge when it comes to women and taking care of their families.
I think it's important to get back to the things that matter. And President Trump has more women in his cabinet than I think any other president ever has. He has Nikki Haley at the UN front and center, taking on the rest of the world. Kellyanne Conway is the first female woman, Republican woman, to ever run a successful presidential campaign. She doesn't get any credit for that. And yet all we can focus on are these women who went out in the streets dressed in female body parts, and they claim to represent women and what they care about. I think it's disrespectful to women to represent them that way. And by the way, it's not about women. It's about being anti-Trump and pro-progressive policies, because people like me aren't welcome at that march because I believe differently. So when they claim they're representing all women, it's about victimhood, it's about identity politics, and it's about making sure that women feel like they have to vote for Democrats because the government's going to take care of them when their family cannot.
But are you concerned about the poll numbers? I mean, in Virginia, in Alabama, women, particularly independent women, say they're voting less for Republicans. Are you concerned about that?
I think it depends on who you look at. Single women tend to vote.
We're up against a hard break. I'm
liberals,
sorry about that.
and married women.
We're outnumbered in just a moment.
There's a new place for senior care, a place with 24-hour valet service and a boutique salon, a place with all-day arts and crafts. It even has a day spa. A place that's so much like home because, well, it is home. Home Instead Senior Care, when you need personalized care in the comfort of home.
Your heart doesn't only belong to you. And if you have heart failure, entrusting your heart to Entresto may help. Entresto is a heart failure medicine that helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. In the largest heart failure study ever, Entresto was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital compared to a leading heart failure medicine. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren. If you've had angioedema while taking an ACE or ARB medicine, don't take Entresto. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto and help make more tomorrows possible. Join American Cruise Lines on an extraordinary journey along the Columbia and Snake Rivers. Cruise close to home aboard the world's finest riverboats. And embrace your inner pioneer as we navigate the legendary route of Lewis and Clark. You'll experience our award-winning shore excursions and discover the distinct story embodied in the history and culture of the region, while enjoying gracious accommodations, exquisite cuisine, and a level of personalized service unprecedented on the Columbia River. Begin your journey today with the leader in U.S. cruising. Visit AmericanCruiseLines.com or call for a free cruise guide. American Cruise Lines. Small ship cruising done perfectly.
Good questions lead to good answers. Our advisors can help you find both. Talk to one today and see why we're bullish on the future. Yours.
The morning walk was so peaceful, until it wasn't. Don't let type 2 diabetes get between you and your heart. Even if you reach your A1C goal, you are still at risk for heart attack or stroke. Talk to your healthcare provider today about diabetic heart disease. And find out more at heartoftype2.com. Your heart and type 2 diabetes. Make the connection.
Thanks to Josh Holmes. It is always good to have you. Always a fun hour.
Yes, thanks for the
Once again, our
hospitality.
commercial break, he's smiling like that because the conversation's always interesting.
I mean, on air, off air, you guys bring the heat. I mean, it's incredible.
And Marie, Katie, any parting words? No.
Nope. See you later.
See what I
You
mean?
said it all
All right,
already.
we're back at noon tomorrow, and here's Harris.
Fox News alert, the Russia investigation reaches the president's cabinet. Let's go outnumbered overtime. I'm Harris Faulkner. Attorney General Jeff Sessions has been interviewed in the special counsel's Russia probe. The first known time Bob Mueller and his team have interviewed a member of the president's cabinet. The Justice Department says it happened last week. This comes as Robert Mueller is investigating contacts between Trump's presidential campaign and the Kremlin, and whether President Trump's actions in office, including the firing of FBI Director James Comey, constituted any obstruction of justice. The White House says it has nothing to hide.
The administration continues to cooperate with the special counsel. We have been transparent during this process. And as we know, there's no evidence of collusion or wrongdoing from the administration. Attorney General Sessions is continuing his work. The president has confidence in Attorney General Sessions and the work that he's doing.
Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge joins us now from Washington. Catherine?
Well, thanks. Here as Fox News confirms the Attorney General was questioned for several hours last week by the special counsel's office with a focus on his Russian contacts during the election and on the firing of then FBI Director James Comey. The Sessions interview matters because it takes a special counsel investigation and the interviews inside the president's cabinet, and it goes to the issue of whether the president's decision to fire Comey in May last year was an obstruction of justice. Those close to the president say it's within his power to terminate the FBI director, and evidence that has come to light since, such as Comey's leaking of government memos, has strengthened the president's decision. Attorney General Sessions recused himself from the Russia probe over his contacts with the Russian ambassador Sergei Kislyak during the campaign. Those close to Sessions say his contact with Kislyak was minimal about 2 meetings, and there is no evidence of coordination that came as a result of those meetings between Russia and the Trump campaign. This is the key thing. The president's lawyer said last week that he felt it was inevitable that President Trump would be interviewed by the special counsel. But sources tell Fox News they believe other witnesses, like Sessions, like the president's son-in-law and others, can answer Robert Mueller's questions, and there may be no single issue that only the president can explain for investigators. Harris.
All right, Catherine, thank you very much. Let's
You're
get
welcome.
reaction now directly from the White House. Bringing in Deputy Press Secretary Hogan Gidley. Hogan, good to see you today.
Great to see you.
First question for you. How much notice did you get last week that the Attorney General of the United States was going before the Russia investigation head?
I'm not aware of any notification, Harris, but as we've said and maintained, we don't really comment out of respect for the process on the witnesses, on the investigation. We are fully cooperating with the special counsel, and in fact, we've made it very clear that there has been no collusion, and the president has maintained many times, not only is there no collusion, but this is the biggest witch hunt in American history, and we expect the facts will bear that out soon.
Well, I understand you won't comment on the investigation itself because none of us can go inside of it at this point anyway. So we'll move on from just that little bit of this. But, you know, I'm curious because this isn't just a member of the president's cabinet. This is somebody who recused himself. And reports are that the president wasn't real thrilled about that in the first place. So what is the reaction from the White House that it's this particular person, witness, that they're talking to?
But again, this is something the president maintained at the time and made the comment even publicly that he wasn't happy that Attorney General Sessions recused himself. But further than that, I'm going to have to refer you to the process because I really can't comment on it.
All right. Have you talked with the Attorney General since he wrapped up?
I have not. No, ma'am.
The White House has not talked with him since?
I thought you were asking me personally. I'm not sure if the White House has talked to him. Yeah, not me, but I'm not sure if the White House has talked to him at all.
All right. And you know, I've heard from the White House previous to this that there's no way to know exactly when this might be wrapping up, but just the take on where the investigation is now in terms of whom they're talking with.
Oh, I'm not privy to those conversations, Harris. And as I've said, we maintain that there is no collusion there. But I mean, the investigation will continue as long as Special Counsel Mueller decides to let it go on. But we've been clear that there is no collusion, and we are in full cooperation with him and his team.
Could the president be next?
Oh, I'm not gonna speculate on that, but the president has done nothing wrong here. That's clear, and we've wasted taxpayers' time and money and energy on this for the better part of a year, and they have not a shred of evidence implicating the president in any wrongdoing whatsoever.
The reason I ask is because we know from our reporting that the president and his counsel have been looking at how they might answer questions, whether that would be on paper or in person. So I want to give you a last touch on that, and then we'll move on.
Well, I'm going to have to refer you to White House counsel on that and the president's own attorneys. I'm not familiar with those conversations.
All right. Very busy White House counsel. We'll call. Thank you. Let's move on and talk about the federal employees returning to work today. The government shutdown is over. The president signed the official paperwork for that to happen today. As you look at this, the president then tweets, "This is a big win for Republicans as Democrats cave on shutdown. Now I want a big win for everyone, including Republicans, Democrats, and DACA, but especially for our great military and border security. Should be able to get there. See you at the negotiating table." When will that start in earnest, that negotiating?
Negotiations have already begun. The president had many people here from the Republican side and Democratic side here yesterday trying to get a deal done for the American people. He has been very clear. This is a national security package. And their negotiations include four main areas. And one is border security with a wall. Two is ending extended chain migration. Three is killing the visa lottery. And then third is a lasting solution on DACA. The president has been very clear on that, while others on the outside of the administration and negotiators with the president from the Democratic side have been less than forthcoming and, quite frankly, not telling the truth on where we stand on these issues.
How has it maybe polluted the waters a little bit? You know, I think the American people might have been looking and saying, hey, maybe they can get along and they'll negotiate something over the next 17 days, which really only has like 6 legislative days. But then Chuck Schumer said, you know what, I'm taking that $1.6 billion offer off the table as money toward paying for the wall. So is the water polluted already?
Well, look, him taking away, quote unquote, funding for the wall is like me telling your viewers I'm going to rescind my offer to give them all $1 million personally. It never existed. I don't even have that kind of money. And at this point, Senator Schumer doesn't even have a leg to stand on the issue. He completely misled the public about where the negotiations were. The DHS did an entire study on what we needed to fund the border wall, and it was $18 billion. He comes over here with a phony plan and a fake promise, and not even an appropriation, but an authorization of less than 1/10 of what is needed to secure the border and protect the American people. So the shutdown was on Schumer, and so is this bogus negotiation, because you can't rescind money you never really offered in the first place.
You know, can we talk about the money for just a second for the wall? Are American taxpayers going to front this first, and then the president on the back end will figure out how to get Mexico to pay for it?
Look, the president's been clear there are all kinds of ways to make Mexico pay for this wall, via tariffs and even some money on people who are brought here legally. So that system is yet to be put in place. I don't want to get into specifics, and I sure don't want to get ahead of the president and his negotiations. But let me just say, there are a couple of plans floating around out there right now about how you fund the wall. The one that is the worst is the Senator Durbin and Graham proposal, which did nothing to address the four main areas that would better protect this nation. It increased illegal immigration, it increased chain migration, and it gave amnesty to about 8 million people and did not fund the border wall at all. So that plan right there is dead on arrival. You've heard members of the House tell you they wouldn't even bring it up. And I guarantee you, if by some stroke of luck it got through the House and the Senate, the President of the United States would never sign such a horrible piece of legislation that hurt the American people like that.
We have on a little bit later Bob Goodlatte on the program on some different topics. But I do want to ask you about this because he led that four-pronged look at this in the House of Representatives with 3 other lawmakers there. And the president had indicated that he liked that plan.
There are parts of it, of course, we like. But, I mean, the negotiations are ongoing. They're in the early stages. But as I mentioned, the president is focused on one thing, and that is protecting the American people. And any bill that falls short of the 4 platforms of a border wall, ending the chain migration, the visa lottery, and a lasting solution on DACA, he's not going to negotiate with something that's a joke and not serious on its face.
All right, I mentioned it, Hogan, but it is important to note, 17 days are not a lot because when you look at the legislative calendar, it's far fewer days than that lawmakers would ever get together. How much of a role going forward does the president plan to play? Because, it's not going to be long before we get to Feb 8th.
I know, but the president was front and center in the negotiations before. We even heard for a while that it might be trouble getting through the House, the CR. The president stepped in, talked to members of the Freedom Caucus, and we actually pushed the bill through. The president is engaged in every aspect of this. He completely and directly came to us and said, let's message it this way. He's not only a brilliant strategist, but he knows the policy inside and out, and that's what's so impressive. So you can't come over here with a phony bill that doesn't do anything but hurt the American people and expect this president to sign it. He's not going to do it because he knows the issue.
All right. I take it from what you're saying, too, since he played a role, he'll do it again if he has to.
Absolutely.
Hogan, great to see you. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Have a great day, Harris.
All right. Thanks, you too. Joining us now, Maryland's Ben Cardin. He's the ranking Democrat on the Foreign Relations Committee. Great to see you. So,
Harris, good to be with you.
I think you could hear our conversation with the White House. I know where you're standing. You might not be able to see it. But, this didn't turn out the way that Democrats had probably thought the leverage would be in their corner. What happened with the shutdown? And going forward, we only have a few more days to avoid another one. What will you do?
Well, first, I didn't want a government shutdown. I don't know any Democrat who wanted a government shutdown. What we want is for us to take up the issues of a budget for our country that balances our priorities, and we want to deal with issues from health care to immigration that need to be addressed. So we do have commitments that negotiations are now ongoing to work out the budget numbers so we can have a budget for this year. We're already 4 months late. The Republicans have been unable to pass a budget. And we now have a commitment for the first time in 5 years that we're going to get an immigration bill on the floor of the United States Senate. And I am hopeful that we'll have a bipartisan, strong agreement on not only dealing with the immigration issues concerning the Dreamers, but that we will have a package that will be right for the American people.
Let me ask it to you this way. You said you never wanted a shutdown. Did Chuck Schumer represent you well in bringing it to that point?
Well, we're in the minority. We have a limited amount of power. We understand that. But they do need our votes to get a budget done for this country, and we do want to have a budget that represents the priorities of America. So we're doing our best. We also need to deal with the immigration issue. We're trying to do our best there. And quite frankly, we now have a commitment by Leader McConnell that the United States Senate will take up an immigration bill.
As we move forward, you've got the budget, you have other things that are going on besides DACA and the Dreamers. How much will you continue to tie that journey with the Dreamers to legislation to keep the government open?
Democrats don't control the schedule on the floor. Leader McConnell will do that. So it's not up to us as to what gets tied together or what opportunities we have to advance issues. We are pleased that we're working on a very tight deadline to get the budget moving and to get the immigration issues considered on the floor of the Senate. As you pointed out, there are not many days left.
No.
I was in meetings today with my Republican colleagues to try to deal with some of these issues. So there's serious discussions taking place, and I am hopeful that you will see the United States Senate do what it should do, take up an issue, debate it, and pass it.
Senator Cardin, we've been in this mode of just CR, just kick the can down the road since October. Our military, we knew that you had to do something before Feb 1st because they get paid on the 1st and the 15th. So those paychecks now will still keep going in the interim. But there's certain things that are tied all up in this, and I'm just wondering how you separate stuff out, keep the military paid while you guys argue over shutting down. And by the way, the American public is not lost on that constitutional right that you have to continue to get paid while the military doesn't.
Right. Well, look, you cannot run government on continuing resolutions. You have to have a budget. That's what Secretary Mattis has said in regards to our national defense with the Department of Defense. They need a budget. We're now 4 months through the fiscal year that started October 1 without a budget. The Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House. At a minimum, they got to get a budget passed. And Democrats are prepared to work with them to make sure that we have a budget for this country. That's our top priority, whether it's the Health Department, whether it's the Department of Defense, whether it's food safety, whatever issue, the agencies need to have a full year appropriation and no more continuing resolutions.
When you hear the White House, and Hogan Gidley was just on, Deputy Press Secretary, and you see the president tweeting, how much political water did you take on with the shutdown? Because the president is calling this a win for Republicans.
Yeah, quite frankly, no one wins with a shutdown. Democrats didn't want to shut down. We believe the shutdown were caused by the Republicans. We offered so many opportunities to keep government open and negotiate the issues, including the budget. But the Republicans rejected that. They control all of the levels of power. So we believe the responsibility for the shutdown was with the Republicans and with President Trump. Having said that, we're not interested now in placing blame. We're interested in getting things done. We want a budget, and we want to deal with DACA. We want to deal with health care issues. We want to deal with opioids. We want to deal with the disaster relief. Let's get on with the business of the Senate and get things done.
How is the conversation behind the scenes? Because, you know, we got to see the curtain pulled back a couple of weeks ago today. Wow, it was only 2 weeks ago. 55-minute long meeting, and it looked like Republicans, Democrats getting along. And I'm just wondering, can you get back to that? And how important is it that you have that morale on Capitol Hill that works in the favor of both?
Harris, it's very important. And quite frankly, there were very encouraging discussions taking place between Democrats and Republicans who want to see the Senate return to its regular order, that we really debate issues, take up amendments, and resolve matters, that we listen to each other, and we compromise. Compromise is not a bad word. That's how our system should operate. We need to listen to each other if we're going to be able to get that accomplished. And quite frankly, the people that participated in these discussions, there were many Democrats, many Republicans, we all agreed government shutdown makes no sense. We need to take up these issues, and we need to debate these issues and resolve these issues.
Senator Cardin, before I let you go, how is it, and I hear what you're saying, and it sounds a lot like what Republican leadership has said too, we're all going to get along, big kumbaya, big hug at the end. But the fact of the matter is, the president has talked about the wall since the campaign. Americans, when you poll them, they understand the issues along our border and how the president means wall system. So you've got part wall, more border security, you've got a four-pronged approach. How is it then today your leadership, and Chuck Schumer says, I'm taking the money that I had previously said that we would give off the table? What do you say about that?
Well, quite frankly, a wall has limited value from the point of view of keeping our borders safe.
No, I said a wall system. And I quoted what the White House has been saying.
And Democrats support that. We support border security.
So why take the money off the table?
No, border security is on the table. We will talk border security. There's needs for better technology. There's a lot of things we can do. Democrats want to keep our borders safe. So border security is clearly on the table.
All right. So when Schumer says I'm taking that $1.6 billion off for the wall, that's part of that system. I just want to be clear when you say you're going to get along, because that's a key component.
I think what the president was asking in that meeting was specifically money designated for a wall, and that has been a controversial issue because there's many of us who believe that it has limited value in keeping our borders safe. Having said that, we're sitting down and we're going to negotiate.
There you go. There it is, working together, Senator Cardin.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you, Harris.
All right, so Democrats, those who are far more to the left than others in their party, reportedly so upset about their party's vote to reopen the government that they're now threatening primary challenges against some of those who voted yes. Are we starting to see a crack, a divide among the Democrats along the lines of the primary season? And after letting lawmakers strike their own deal on that spending bill, President Trump is reportedly anxious to get more involved in the immigration negotiations. Now, remember, I asked how involved he would be in keeping the government open over the next few days. And Hogan Gidley from the White House indicated as much as he has been, so that's a lot. Is that a good idea?
This program is brought to you by the makers of Preservision AREDS 2 Formula I vitamins.
I'm a fighter. Always have been. When I found out I had age-related macular degeneration, AMD, I wanted to fight back. My doctor and I came up with a plan. It includes Preservision.
Only Preservision AREDS 2 has the exact nutrient formula recommended by the National Eye Institute to help reduce the risk of progression of moderate to advanced AMD, backed by 15 years of clinical studies.
That's why I fight. Because it's my vision. Preservision.
For over 200 years, the stock market has been going up and down like a roller coaster. And it seems like everybody's giving you advice on what you should do with your retirement money. But most people just want to earn a reasonable rate of return and keep it simple. Is that what you want? Get your investor's kit and learn how to never lose money when the market goes down and earn a reasonable rate of return. And on the DVD, I'll personally explain how it works. You decide if it's right for you.
Call 800-557-7379 or tyjyoung.net.
Hi, I'm Johnny Bench. After a Hall of Fame career, it's no wonder why I use Blue Emu Arthritis Cream. Blue Emu's non-greasy, deep penetrating formula gets down deep into those joints for big-time pain relief. Blue Emu, it works fast and you won't stink.
Call 1-800-SANDALS.
If you're like thousands of veterans who own a home, you may be thinking about refinancing to get money for your family. But you may not be thinking about a valuable VA benefit veterans like us have earned. The right to apply for a VA home loan for up to 100% of your home's value, not 80% like many other loans. That's an important difference because that can mean a lot more money for you and your family. Money for retirement, unexpected medical bills, home improvements, or just to put in the bank. The new Day 100 VA loan lets you refinance your mortgages, consolidate your credit card debt, get cash, and lower your payments an average of $640 a month. And New Day will even pay for your appraisal. Take advantage of the VA home loan benefit many vets don't even know about. Call New Day USA right now because no one works harder to help veterans get the financial security we deserve.
Go to newdayusa.com or call 1-844-341-1583.
Watch Fox News Channel anytime, anywhere. Fox News Go.
Hi, I'm Dana Lash from The Dana Show. If you could be more heart healthy just by drinking a glass of delicious superfood, would you do it? Of course you would. There's one superfood I drink every day for healthy circulation and to make me feel great all day long. It's called Super Beets, and you can try it for yourself risk-free. Beets contain a nutrient that increases your own natural energy. It supports healthy blood pressure, too. And Super Beets gives you the benefit of 3 whole beets. I take Super Beets as my pre-workout in the morning and as a non-jittery pick-me-up in the afternoon.
Give Super Beets a try for 2 weeks. 1 week, just 1 week, and you will see a difference, I promise.
Don't wait another day to start increasing your energy.
With your first order, get another 30-day supply of Super Beets free, plus our test strips to see how Super Beets is working for you, and free shipping. Try Super Beets. You'll love it or your money back. Order your Super Beets today.
Call 1-800-495-4034 or visit buysuperbeets.com now.
About their party's vote to reopen the government without securing protections for Dreamers, they're now threatening primary challenges against some of those Democrats who voted yes. This as nearly every Democratic senator eyeing a potential 2020 presidential run voted against reopening the government. Joining me now is RNC spokesperson Kayleigh McEnany and DNC Vice Chairman Michael Blake. Great to see you guys. Kayleigh, I want to start with you and just kind of get your take, if you will, from across the aisle on what's happening.
Well, it's interesting. You know, let's step back and assess the Democratic Party right now. They've managed to ostracize most of the country. The Harvard-Harris poll shows 58% of Americans did not want a government shutdown because of DACA. And not only that, they did this purportedly for their far radical left-wing base, who is now livid at them. You know, look at the headlines. MoveOn.org says fury. Democracy for America called it political cowardice. America's Voice said there were tears of anger and disappointment. Luis Gutierrez said they caved. So right now, the only people pleased with the Democratic caucus appears to be Chuck and Nancy. Not good.
Michael, how do you bridge this divide in your party? I mean, a primary challenge would be kind of dicey.
Look, as a child of immigrants, obviously none of us wanted to be in the situation that we're in right now, but let's make sure we're focusing on the facts. I mean, Kayleigh, I respect her greatly, but sometimes talking points get in the way of actual facts. We're in this situation because September 5th last year, President Trump decided to rescind DACA protections for communities across the country. As it relates to where we're at right now, the challenge of what's been happening is we're arriving in a few weeks as it relates to this vote. What changed over the last few days? You were able to have Mitch McConnell finally say that a vote would come forward. You were able to have a reduced continuing resolution for 3 weeks instead of 4 weeks. You counter the points that a lot of Republicans continue to try to say that we were hurting the military. Jim Mattis himself said that operations would continue for the military. So we're in a space right now where, yes, people are frustrated, they're upset, they're angry. But let's be clear about everything in totality. By essentially a 20-point margin, people blame the Republicans for the shutdown. Never in our history has a party had the White House.
Polls are you looking at there?
The multiple polls, Harris. The poll that Kayleigh was referencing was specifically as it relates to DACA. I'm saying as it relates to the shutdown itself. Why? Because when you look at it, never in our history, I heard you respectfully, never in our history has a party had the White House, the Senate, and Congress and the U.S. House of Representatives and had a government shutdown.
You want to talk about talking points? That is a DNC talking point that is not true. There have been shutdowns when a party
just tell me when
has every
has there
branch
been an
of government. It has happened.
When,
well, tell me your polls, by the way, because you don't cite any polls there.
Kayleigh, I'm literally
during the
just
Carter
asking you a
administration
question.
is one example. During the Carter administration, I just gave you one. Now let me correct your facts because you want to deal in facts, not false Democratic talking points. The facts are DACA recipients across this country are in this place because President Obama unconstitutionally acted when he issued this protection. You guys had 8 years.
To protect
you
them.
had
You're
8 years
right.
during the Obama administration to come up with a permanent solution for DACA. You did not. It was unconstitutional. Its counterpart DAPA was already struck down by a court.
Let me step in here because I've asked my team.
2013.
Let me step in here. That means I'm talking. That means I'm talking.
But 2013. All I'm saying, Harris, is we're literally talking about things that are just actually inaccurate.
I've asked my team to look at the polling that was making news yesterday that showed that 31% of participants, and they're going to find it and pop it up, but I don't even need it because I remember it, blame Democrats for the shutdown. And why is that important? Because you guys capitulated to a deal that you potentially already had on Friday via Chuck
Harris,
Schumer.
you're literally conveying a partial. You're actually again. Let's be fair. You actually just gave a partial data. You actually just gave a partial data point. So let's be clear. The point I said was who was being blamed more by the margins. Republicans were being blamed more for the government shutdown. Again, we talk about the facts of the matter. To Kayleigh's point, in 2013, when a deal came before, where the Senate, a bipartisan Senate deal, moved forward on trying to actually help when it comes to the situation, it was shut down by Republicans. We are in this situation. Again, the word that Kayleigh used were the protections that were granted to DACA recipients.
Kayleigh the last word
on this. It was rescinded.
Kayleigh, go ahead.
It was rescinded on September 5th by President Trump. Let her have the last
word, please.
Michael, you are living in DNC la-la land because the fact is, even the media across the board,
President Trump rescinded this on September 5th.
I let you have 30 seconds there, so give me just a few. You have MSNBC saying that this was a failure. Democrats got nothing. You have Fox's Brit Hume saying this is the first time a Republican won. You have CNN's Jim Acosta saying Democrats caved. Across the board, everyone is admitting Democrats lost. Live in DNC la-la land, please, because it means Republicans will sail to victory in 2018.
Well, and let me say this real quickly.
Yet again,
as
September
I set up the
5th,
segment to have
President
you guys go
Trump
back and forth.
this.
Can he not hear me? As I set up the segment, the whole point of it was that on the Democratic side, there is a threat of primary challenges because people are not happy that the Dreamers didn't actually get a deal. What they got is on February 8th, hopefully by then, according to Democrats, they'll have some language, some way to go forward to tackle the situation and get something in place before March. That's what, and potentially that was already on the table on Friday. Great to have you both. Next time we have you, we'll have you here on set so you can look at each other in the eye because I always think that changes the conversation a little bit. Thank you both.
Thanks, Harris.
All right, let's move on to this. This is breaking news today and something that we now have more detail on. It's a deadly shooting at a Kentucky high school. At least one person has died. Others are wounded. We'll have a live report from there moments away. Also, Attorney General Jeff Sessions says the Justice Department will investigate those missing text messages that were sent between two FBI officials accused of having anti-Trump bias and some kind of plan to keep the president out of the White House. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte joins me to talk about his concerns about the bias at the Bureau and what needs to be done to get to the bottom of it all. Stay close.
Do you know which investment could be your best performer this year? Stocks, real estate, bonds? None of the above. It's silver. It's trending higher. And if silver returns to its all-time high, that's over a 200% increase. Call now to get this free report. First-time callers also get this free 1-gram silver bar.
If I could only invest in one thing, it'd be silver. Silver is running out. It's in short supply. It is one of the greatest investments you could have right now.
Call Lear Capital for your free report, Sky High Silver. See why silver could skyrocket 50% this year, why financial experts and investment banks are hoarding silver at today's low price, and how silver can help protect your savings from global turmoil.
Investing in silver is the perfect way to protect your wealth.
Ask how you can get up to $2,000 in free silver. This offer ends soon. Call 1-800-885-1955. 1-800-885-1955.
We're wired with 100 billion nerve cells, so when aggravated nerves cause pain, use New Salonpas Lidocaine Plus. One anesthetic numbs nerves fast, while maximum strength lidocaine calms them for hours. New Salonpas Lidocaine Plus. Also try our lidocaine patch.
What makes this simple salad the best simple salad ever? Great tasting, heart-healthy California walnuts. So simple, so good. Get the recipes at walnuts.org.
Every time I smiled, I had to cover my mouth because I was so ashamed. When the denture slipped, I would have to excuse myself and go to the restroom virtually in tears. It kept me from being able to speak properly. I could not eat corn, apples, baby back ribs. I did not want dentures to be part of my life. I pretty much decided dental implants were the route I was going to take.
Let's do a head-to-head comparison of dental implants versus dentures. With dentures, the ability to taste food, to bite and chew is altered. The worst thing about dentures, bone loss. When you put an implant inside the bone, which is like the root of a tooth, now you preserve the bone. It's a game changer. With implants, you walk into a restaurant, you order anything you want. You eat just like you have real teeth.
Before you knew it, here I was with my brand new teeth.
Schedule your free consultation today. We'll even talk about financing options.
I can smile, my confidence is back.
Call Clear Choice today.
Check out Turbo 13 from Nutrisystem.
Introducing new for 2018, Turbo 13 from Nutrisystem. Our best program ever. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall your first month. Money back guaranteed.
I'm Marie and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Our biggest selection of foods and most frozen items ever. Delicious and convenient. Order your 28-day plan right now and we'll rush you Turbo 13 with our new Turbo Takeoff Week with new foods. Plus a week of probiotic and delicious turbo shakes. All new NutriCurve bars. And metabolism boosters. Free. A $70 value specially designed to rev your metabolism, help shrink your belly, and jumpstart your weight loss.
You'll see results right away.
Returning customer? Ask about our special offer just for you. Call or go online in the next 2 minutes and we'll throw in FedEx shipping free. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall your first month.
Go online or call 888-522-SIZE right now and get Turbo 13 with a Turbo Takeoff Week, plus bars, shakes, and metabolism boosters free.
David, you have one of the worst cavities I have ever seen. Okay, have a good day.
Aren't you gonna fix it?
Well, I'm not a dentist, I'm a dental monitor. I just tell you when you have a bad cavity.
That's bad. Lunch?
Oh, yes.
Where are you going?
Why monitor a problem if you don't fix it? That's why free credit monitoring isn't enough to protect you. At LifeLock, we not only alert you to identity threats. If you have a problem, we'll work to fix it with our $1 Million Protection Package. LifeLock. Try 30 days free using promo code DENTIST.
Fox News Alert, we're about to see President Trump sign some trade actions or put things into place. You may have heard that he is putting some high tariffs on imports of washing machines and solar panels from certain places. On the list, China and South Korea. In fact, South Korea is not happy about it. They want to go to the WTO, the World Trade Organization, and put their case forth that this is going to hurt their economy. But Section 201 in safeguards against some cases where it was found that there was substantial cause of injury to domestic manufacturers. So, you know, this is the first time that we will have heard from the president directly, not from a tweet and not in pictures, signing the government shutdown and reopening the government, I should say, the deal to do that. But inside the White House, in the Oval Office, he'll sign these trade actions, and they will have an effect on washing machines and solar panels coming into the United States. More to come on that. Just want to let you know we're watching for that event as it happens. And a Fox News alert on this. Kentucky's governor is calling the fatal shooting at a high school a tremendous tragedy and calling for people to avoid speculating about anything at this time. The shooting happened today, earlier this morning at Marshall County High School in southwest Kentucky. One person is dead, others have been wounded. Mike Tobin is live from Benton, Kentucky with more on this. Mike?
And Harris, we've got a lot of changing in terms of the numbers coming from Governor Matt Bevin as he is speaking at this moment. We know now, sadly, the number of dead has increased. 2 people were killed out here. The number previously was just 1 person who was killed in this hail of gunfire, another senseless act of violence. 14 people were injured by gunshot wounds. 19 have been injured altogether. Some of the people were injured just simply in the panic getting out of the high school. We've got a lot of reports of running and screaming, hundreds of people streaming out of the Marshall County High School when the gunfire here began. We now have pictures of the suspect in this particular shooting. We have a description of him only, that he is a 15-year-old male. He will be charged with murder and attempted murder. We're waiting to hear from the governor as he is speaking about some identification from this shooter, and we don't have any information as far as what the motive will be. We know of the people who were injured with the gunshot wounds. Some people were shot in the face, some people were shot in the chest, some people were shot in the leg. Of those who were taken to nearby hospitals, some of them were air evacuated to nearby hospitals to get to their treatment more rapidly. This is a small town. Very closely knit community, one of those communities where they say everyone knows everyone. And this is evidence that even a place as sleepy and peaceful as this is not immune from this random, tragic and senseless violence that seems to be such a problem all across the nation. Again, the governor is speaking at this moment, trying to provide some answers. Students at the school here have been transferred to a nearby location in the northern part of the county, and parents are urged to go there to pick up their loved ones. Harris?
All right, Mike, thank you very much. I know that there are simultaneous things going on, so you're following a lot there. We appreciate the update. And this Fox News alert, Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced the Justice Department is launching an investigation into those missing text messages sent between 2 FBI officials accused of anti-Trump bias. Meanwhile, House Oversight Committee Chairman Trey Gowdy says he wants to know more about what those officials, Agent Peter Strzok and Attorney Lisa Page, were talking about in new messages that were just released.
What's also troubling to me is this text that Johnny Radcliffe found last night about this secret society. Now, I have no clue what that means because that was not the phraseology I used, but it's the day after the election, and it's the same 2 people that were discussing a little bit later in the text the damage they had done with the Clinton investigation and how they could, quote, fix it and make it right. That is a level of bias that is stunning among law enforcement officers.
Congressman Gowdy was among 3 House committee chairmen who issued a joint statement expressing their concern about those 5 months worth of text messages that have gone missing. I'm joined now by one of those people, those 3, House Judiciary Chairman Bob Goodlatte, a Republican from Virginia. And even though he's only in Virginia, we've got a little bit of extra delay, so I want to apologize for that early on. First of all, catch me up on exactly the headline today that you want the American people to be aware of.
Well, Harris, the headline is that we have a very serious problem at the FBI with a number of people at the highest levels of the department who have been engaged in activities based upon the limited information we already have from these Strzok Page texts and other documents that we have seen. That raises great concern, and action needs to be taken. So I'm pleased that Attorney General Sessions is going to launch an investigation into what happened to those texts, and I hope they are recovered. But it is no coincidence, in my opinion, that we're missing texts that run from when the Russia investigation was launched right up to the point where you have the Mueller investigation being launched the day before, and then suddenly they start appearing again. And some of these texts are very disturbing, as Trey Gowdy noted. They illustrate a conspiracy on the part of some people, and we want to know a lot more about that. So we'll be continuing our joint judiciary oversight investigation, and we will get to the truth.
Wow. Or we can just believe it's a great deal of coincidence. You don't sound like a man who has been in Washington a long time and would steep down the end of coincidence, so we need to know what it was. Have you ever heard of the secret society that was being talked about in those text messages?
No, but you may recall that in the batch of text messages that were provided to us back in December, there was discussion about a plan B, if you will, that they were going to go to. So again, this is all, in my opinion, related to the presidential elections, and very disturbing that high-ranking officials in the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which, by the way, is the most important law enforcement organization in the world, and tens of thousands of people there do great work keeping us safe and solving crimes and preventing terrorist attacks every day. They are being besmirched by a small number of people who have been engaged in, I think, serious wrongdoing.
Before I let you go, I'm curious about something that Democrats are saying. They're accusing Republicans of trying to undermine the Russia investigation overall. What's your reaction to that?
Not in the least. We have in no way interfered with the special prosecutor, Mr. Mueller, and his work. We want to make sure that he is doing it in a fair and impartial way. As you know, Mr. Strzok was a part of that team and was removed, and that's a good thing he was removed, but there are other people in that investigation that also have engaged in questionable activities. So we want that investigation to move forward, but we also have to do our oversight responsibility with regard to the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And in doing that, we have uncovered very serious concerns about what was going on in the department long before that investigation was ever even launched.
Yeah. You know, the big question has been and continues to be, if you find out there's bias at the FBI, what will accountability look like? Want to bring you back on a different day. Thanks for joining us from Virginia. Thank you very much. Well, we are learning Attorney General Jeff Sessions was questioned by the special counsel's office for several hours last week. In fact, it was in the special counsel's office. What does all this mean for the White House? Our power panel will weigh in next.
Patrick woke up with back pain, but he has work to do, so he took Aleve. If he'd taken Tylenol, he'd be stopping for more pills right now. Only Aleve has the strength to stop tough pain for up to 12 hours with just one pill. Aleve, all day strong.
Do you have a life insurance policy you no longer need or can't afford? Now you can sell your policy for an immediate payment.
We bought life insurance when our kids were young, to protect their future.
Our youngest just turned 40. We no longer needed the coverage.
That got us to thinking about letting our policy go. So I did some research and called Coventry Direct. I learned that you could sell all or part of a life insurance policy, even a term life policy. Turns out, people have been selling policies like ours for the past 15 years. Who knew? We sold our policy. Now we have money to help with the medical bills.
And to add to our retirement.
If you have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may be a candidate to sell your policy. Call 1-800-471-6800 or visit CoventryDirect.com for a free information packet. 1-800-471-6800. Coventry Direct, redefining insurance.
Want to lose weight and see results fast? Lose up to 9 pounds and 3 inches overall in your first 2 weeks with the all-new South Beach Diet. It's a low-carb, low-sugar program that burns fat and transforms your metabolism. Now, South Beach comes to you with fully prepared meals delivered right to your door. Breakfast, lunches, dinners, even snacks.
I'm Jesse James Decker, and if y'all want to know how I stay in shape, I do it with the South Beach Diet. I lost 38 pounds. I'm in the best shape of my life.
It's safe and healthy, easy to follow, and it works.
I lost 30 pounds.
I lost 24 pounds. Order your 28-day plan right now, and we'll rush you 1 week of our all-new South Beach Complete Shakes free. They're packed with 20 grams of protein, no added sugar, a great source of probiotics, vitamins, and they taste great. Call or go online in the next 2 minutes, and we'll even throw in free FedEx shipping. Lose up to 9 pounds and 3 inches overall in your first 2 weeks.
Trust me, the South Beach Diet works. Call or click right now.
Call 888-586-PLAN or go to southbeachdiet.com and get 1 week of shakes free.
Mike and I went on our honeymoon to Maui, and it was amazing. We were like, let's move here. So we bought a timeshare there. In 2015, we were expecting our firstborn child, and it became a lot of work just to get out of the house, let alone to Maui.
Finally, one of your friends actually told us about Timeshare Exit Team, and they were great.
Time changes everything. If your timeshare no longer fits your life, call Timeshare Exit Team today or go to timeshareexitteam.com.
Are you thinking about buying a stair lift? This essential free guide will answer all your questions. You can find out how a stair lift can improve your life in a few easy steps with this free guide packed full of detailed information. All of your questions answered. What should I think about when buying a stair lift? What type of stair lift will suit my home? What difference can a stair lift make to my life? Answers to these and many more with this free guide to buying a stair lift. A stair lift can be crucial to you staying independent in your own home. They were invented to make your life easier. And this free, practical guide, produced with the help of Acorn Stair Lifts, will make it easier for you to choose the one that's right for you. So call now, 1-800-908-1851 for your free copy of your guide to buying a stair lift and have all of your stair lift questions answered today. 1-800-908-1851.
Managing blood sugar is a series of smart choices. And when you replace one meal or snack a day with Glucerna, made with Carb Steady to help minimize blood sugar spikes, you can really feel it. Now with 30% less carbs and sugars. Glucerna.
We're now learning counsel Robert Mueller's team questioned Attorney General Jeff Sessions for several hours, and it happened in his office. He's believed to be the first member of President Trump's cabinet to be interviewed in the Russia investigation. The panel now, back from outnumbered, Josh Holmes, former chief of staff to Senator Mitch McConnell, and Jessica Tarlov is here, senior director of research for Bustle.com and a Fox News contributor as well. So some details coming, some color coming forth. I asked White House Deputy Press Secretary earlier in the program, how much head notice did you get, heads up? What are your thoughts as we kind of move forward with this?
I think it's all part of the process. If there's one person that we absolutely knew was going to be interviewed by the Mueller investigation, it was going to be Jeff Sessions, both for his role as Attorney General with the Comey dismissal, but also with his role on the campaign. And I think he's had a number of questions that he's answered over the last 6 months. One of the reasons why he recused himself from the investigation itself. So I don't think this is surprising.
See, I think that recusal is probably one of the points, and it's the thing that the president was not pleased with, and Hogan Gidley said it on this very program a few minutes ago. Yeah, the president's on record, wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, absolutely not, and I agree with Josh that this was to be expected. It's interesting, though, to think about whether this is an indication that we're wrapping things up or if we're just getting started with a new portion of the investigation.
Well, we don't know.
Well, no, we don't know, but that's fun to speculate about. Neil Cavuto was just talking about it in the last hour, that he had been hearing from people that he thought that this indicated that now they were at the real top level there, and then they would be phasing out. But certainly if they find something out from Jeff Sessions, who, yes, did do a lot of testifying, but a lot of evading as well, a lot of I don't recall, and then found out later down the line that he did recall certain meetings with Ambassador Kislyak, et cetera, we could be looking at a longer road here.
So I asked the White House representative there if the president is next, and of course I got deferred again to the White House counsel. But you ask the questions.
Sure. Well, look, I think
we know he's on the list.
The president's attorneys have been on record over the last 3 weeks saying that this is something that they're negotiating with the Mueller team.
Either on paper or in person, that interview with the president.
Yeah, and what they want to do is provide as much information as they can. Now, whether or not it has to be in person or whether or not it can be submitted in writing is something that they're negotiating. And so, but I think, just to your point, is this the end? You don't ordinarily interview the most significant players at the beginning, right? So I think that
we certainly know it's not the beginning, but if he's going to be going through many cabinet members, this is certainly the one that was the most obvious that he had to talk to.
But here's my question for you, Jessica. So far, no evidence of coordination between the Trump campaign and Russia. And, we toss that word around, collusion, but coordination is, and you've heard lawmakers on this program in the last hour, that's what you're looking at. No evidence of that. So if they talk with cabinet members and they talk with the president and there still isn't any of that evidence, when will Democrats back away from the cheese tray?
I think when the final ruling, or however it's presented, comes out there. I mean, this is a flowing investigation. We do know
when it's
that
over, will you let go?
Well, certainly if Bob Mueller says to me, there's no fire there. There was a little bit of smoke and puffs here, and we have the Mike Flynn and Paul Manafort and George Papadopoulos and
nothing
whatever.
To do with coordination or
collusion. Coordination. I mean, between members of the campaign and the president himself are different things. We've discussed the fact that it could be that Donald Trump himself didn't do anything, but there were high-ranking members who were in communication with the Russians. That'll be a different story, but I trust Bob Mueller.
Well, I think almost every special counsel gets into the theater of the absurd. That's why no party likes special counsels. And now we're in a situation here where we've ventured far afield from the original reason for the investigation itself. Now we're investigating the investigation. And so I think that they have an obligation to come to the end of this sooner rather than later.
We'll be right back. Stay close.
Your insurance company won't replace the full value of your totaled new car. The guy says, you picked the wrong insurance plan. No, I picked the wrong insurance company.
With new car replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car, plus depreciation. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I don't know why I didn't get screened a long time ago. I kept putting it off. What was I thinking?
Okay, Mr. Jones, we're all done.
I told you it was easy.
With Lifeline Screening, getting screened for unknown health conditions is so quick, painless, and affordable, you'll wonder why you hadn't done it before. So if you're over age 50, call now and schedule an appointment near you. For just $149, a savings of over 50%, you'll receive a package of 5 screenings that go beyond your doctor's annual checkup. Ultrasound technology looks inside your arteries for plaque that builds up as you age and increases your risk of stroke and heart disease. After all, 4 out of 5 people who have a stroke, their first symptom is a stroke. So call today and start with a free health assessment to understand your best plan of action.
So why didn't we do this earlier?
Lifeline Screening. The power of prevention. Call now to learn more.
Jim Comey, interviewed by the special counsel Robert Mueller. Meanwhile, what we've learned is...
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, and then you know, more news here on Fox. Guess what? You know, it's unbelievable.
Guess what?
Apparently, the Attorney General has been pressuring Christopher Wray, the FBI director, to go after Andrew McCabe, the #2 guy. And guess what? The Trump nominee, the Trump guy at FBI said to the Trump Attorney General, if you want this done, get somebody else in here. He didn't say he was going to quit, but he said he'd have somebody else do it. Right. Oh, my gosh. So what do we have here? We have a picture of the Trump administration right now on its heels and fighting to muddy up, dirty, discredit the FBI and Robert Mueller. Meanwhile, Mueller is having stepped up activity, and it's driving not only towards the possibility of collusion, but also towards obstruction of justice. And at this moment, what do you get? A counterattack from the Trump stooges on Capitol Hill.
Stooges?
Yeah, who also, imagine that. 2 people having an affair are texting each other. And imagine that people inside the FBI have opinions about ongoing investigations, as if that is now a reason to say the FBI, you know, is like a horse cage and needs to be cleaned up.
So guess what, Juan?
But guess what,
collusion only matters if it's somebody you don't like. If you don't like that person, then it's collusion. But if you like that person, it's a choice for president, then you'll ignore any real collusion, which is admitting that there was no Russian collusion, that Lynch knew ahead of time, that there were thousands of texts lost, and that there's a secret society. But that's not collusion because you like Hillary.
No, if there was collusion, I would be all with you. But I'm just saying, even at this moment, I was struck today to read that some Democrats are concerned about the impact that Russia is having right now in the midst of the...
Of course they are. That's their spin.
In the midst of the argument over the DACA program, guess what? We've seen increased activity by these things.
Democrats didn't care about Russia during the Cold War. Now all of a sudden they care so much.
Oh, yeah, because it looks like we have ongoing
When it really mattered, when we were fighting to the death with the Russian communists, the Democrats were caving and they were appeasing. Now when Russia's not a threat, all of a sudden they want to fight the Cold War
again. Let me just say this to you, Jesse.
Yes.
Chris Wray?
Yes.
What do you think? You trust him?
I trust anybody that keeps emails and texts. Where did the texts go, Juan?
I see. So you
the
don't
same place that Hillary's
Let me
emails
get this
went?
straight.
I'm worried about the texts. Where'd they go, Juan?
I see.
Where'd they go? The same place the IRS emails
All
know what?
right.
Screaming is not an effective defense.
Right, well, I'm
this is not
I'm not defending
Hold on.
anything.
I have to go to my secret society partner right here, Dana Perino, for the final word to clean this mess up.
Well, there's a lot of smoke coming from a lot of different directions. Where there's smoke, there's a lot of fire. People learn that in investigations all the time. Like former Governor Chris Christie, for example, like basically had Bridgegate come down, fall upon him like a ton of bricks, and basically ruin his chances for a future political office. So, things can happen along the way, but these investigations take a lot of time. And it is sort of like Americans tune into the news because it is almost entertainment now.
Yeah.
So we expect something new every day. So I think that's why you have these different entities pushing one narrative, and then, if you're going to put out the thing about the missing text, I'll put out there that the Mueller investigation interviewed the Attorney General and the former FBI director. So now we can have a new scene.
And they're all equal. Like they're all like, it's like, pros and cons. Each one's equal. They need to have a lost and found for missing texts. Somebody's got to invent that. Like, I lost 50,000 texts. Surely somebody could find those.
I think they'll probably find them.
It's the size of a small car.
Well, they have to do
50,000.
But they weren't 50,000 texts
Recover
that were missing.
deleted
They don't know
files.
how many are missing. They had 50,000 that they've reviewed.
I thought there was 50,000 missing. No. I should probably read more closely.
Well,
but then that would
does it really matter? It
doesn't really matter?
It could be 100,000 texts. They
It's
don't know how
probably
many are
500,000.
missing.
Well, you are injured and concussed potentially, but we'll have a CAT scan and get back to you tomorrow. Chuck Schumer goes from shutdown hero to zero with members of his own party. Lots of questions about his leadership after caving to Republicans. Next.
You wouldn't feel good not knowing the price here. Don't let it happen when you buy your diabetes test strips. With the AccuCheck Guide Simple Pay program, you pay the same low price, all without having to go through insurance. Plus, they come in a spill-resistant vial along with a free meter. Skip the guessing game and focus on your health, not the cost. Make saving simple today at simplepaysaves.com.
When it comes to money, you got to put it somewhere, right? I want to put it somewhere where I'm being paid high interest on it, but also have the ability to make an unexpected purchase when my daughter gets straight A's. If I need to borrow, I can do this instantly at low rates. No more having to plan ahead. And I can trade anything, anywhere. The ultimate convenience and the best rates. A new best-of-breed solution to borrow, earn, spend, invest. Worldwide from one account by Interactive Brokers.
Do you have bruised skin? You need Dermend Moisturizing Bruise Formula for mature skin. Dermend uses proven ingredients that help improve the appearance of bruises. Help your bruised skin. Get Dermend now at Walgreens, Walmart, CVS, and Rite Aid.
So I think I got to get my roof repaired. You know anybody?
Yeah, actually I might.
Yeah, great. Can you do a free background check on them, get me some additional quotes, and book it for 2 weeks from now?
You can't expect your neighbors to do everything Home Advisor can. So to find and book a top-rated home pro for free, just ask Home Advisor.
Are you hiring great people?
I get more talented people through the door through Indeed than any other job search that I use.
Indeed delivers 6 times more hires than any other job site. Post a job in minutes, and Indeed will help you zero in on just the right candidates. Plus, there are no upfront costs or long-term contracts.
Nothing has ever been this easy, this simple, and this effective.
Right now, start your first job posting with free premium placement. Search for greatness. Indeed, the world's #1 job site.
Save up to 65%. Call 1-800-BEACHES.
You might take something for your heart or joints, but do you take something for your brain? With an ingredient originally found in jellyfish, Prevagen is the #1 selling brain health supplement in drugstores nationwide. Prevagen, the name to remember.
The U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, inside the impact on the Mideast and what it could mean for peace negotiations. Palestine's chief negotiator reacts on Fox News at Night.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
What if you could lose fat in just a few hours?
I don't know what to say. I'm just in shock.
You can with Sono Bello.
It seems no matter how much you work out or diet, there are parts of your body that just don't seem to change.
I went to the gym, I worked out at home, I bought videos. No matter what I did, that bulge was still there.
With its advanced micro laser technology,
Sono Bello gently removes that targeted fat and shapes your body for life-changing results.
as America's #1 cosmetic surgery specialist, Sono Bello has performed over 100,000 personalized body and facial procedures, helping tens of thousands of people change their lives.
After 5 years trying to get rid of that roll of fat, Sono Bello did it in one day.
Call for your free no-obligation consultation today and get $250 off your Sono Bello body.
Payment plans are available.
Call 888-317-1425 or go to sonobello.com.
I was knee-deep in the water somewhere, got the blue sky breeze, and it don't seem fair, only worry in the world.
Thousands of federal employees returned to work today after a 3-day government shutdown orchestrated and ended by Democrats. Chuck Schumer's plan did not work, and he ultimately caved. Republicans, the media, and the Dreamers are not going to let him forget it.
The Democrats giving in on the Dreamers for now.
My message to Chuck Schumer is pretty simple. You know, we got to this point. What happened?
Why did the Democratic Party have to blink first?
The government is open again after Senate Democrats backed down from a budget and immigration standoff.
I'm outraged. We're all furious by what's going on because they have shown us that they do not care about us.
Is it fair to say that the shutdown, the government shutdown, backfired for Democrats?
You know, again, who's hurt is more important than who is blamed.
It's just another form of betrayal.
Schumer may be feeling the heat today. We're learning the minority leader has withdrawn an offer to boost funding for President Trump's proposed border wall. He's said to have put it on the table during the summit that he had with the president, where they had cheeseburgers, and then it all fell apart after that. Juan, Chuck Schumer is known for being a pretty savvy politician. In 2006, he engineered the takeover of the Senate by Democrats in that midterm election. Did he make a mistake here, or was it just something that he had to do?
Well, so you have to look at it through different sets of glasses, Dana. One is, if you're Chuck Schumer and you think you have a chance to win the Senate in the fall, then you want to protect Democrats and give them the best chance, especially Democrats. I think there are 10 Democrats who come from states that were carried by Donald Trump.
Yep.
And as you know, there were 4 or 5 of them that voted initially not to have the shutdown.
Right.
And then you have this group of moderates come about that includes lots of Democrats and who say, you know what, it's better not to have a shutdown. We've got these robocalls aided by the Russians saying, oh, you're putting illegal immigrants over the interest of Americans by having a shutdown. And you know the line that came from the White House, this is about military, not about illegal immigrants and all that. And so if they felt that they were losing on that narrative drive, then Chuck Schumer was wise to go along with the moderates and say, okay, let's wait another day. We're going to wait 3 weeks. And then we're going to come back to this and we'll see what happens. The other set of glasses I would ask you to put on is the set of glasses that belong to people who are dreamers or who are their supporters or people who are in the fast-growing Hispanic Latino community. Mm-hmm. And they look at it and they say, wait a second, we support Democrats. We waited through two continuing resolutions in December. We were promised that this was the moment.
They're getting answers.
And gosh, look what you get. So the Democrats come back and say, oh, we got CHIP. We got, funding 6 years, I think, for the children's health insurance.
But they're not spinning it very well. I think that even Democrats are admitting that it doesn't look good. A lot of bad headlines today, Jesse.
A lot of bad headlines, and I might as well be a Russian bot, Juan, because I actually said on the show that Schumer was putting illegals over the U.S. military. It doesn't take a genius to see that, except Schumer.
Except you might be a genius.
I think a very stable one.
Yes.
I think Schumer thought Trump was going to wheel and deal, and he just sat back and stood firm, and then Schumer spazzed out and humiliated himself. They've been pulled so far to the left by their Hispanic lobby that they walked right into a trap. And I think they think the Hispanic lobby, I know they think the Hispanic lobby's loud, and they are loud. There's a lot of activists that cause a lot of trouble for people. They're very vocal. They put, they get out there on the streets. But I don't know if they have the clout, because if you're talking about 300 million Americans here in this country to 800,000 dreamers, I just don't really see where the power is there. So Schumer comes along, and they know they need amnesty, and they know they need open borders because they need new voters because they've alienated the white working class of this country. That's a fact. But at the same time, he drove off a cliff in order to achieve that. And I'm thinking to myself, who started the whole thing? It's President Obama. He timed the whole DACA deal from the jump. He knew it was temporary. He knew Congress had to fix it. Trump assumes office. It was about to get smacked down by the courts, so Trump just kicked it back to the Congress. Now Congress just has to do its job.
Greg, we can bring back the old hashtag. Thanks, Obama.
Yes, there you go. No, I think the Dems are in shock because they didn't get the assist from the media that they had expected. They were Abbott without their Costello.
Aww.
And it was sad. And I don't think this tantrum is afterwards by the left and by liberals is a good look, because when you really think about it, they didn't lose anything. All this is a pause. Yeah. This is basically a 17-day bathroom break between the shutdown and what's going to happen in February 8th.
And they actually did get the CHIP funding that they wanted for 6 years.
So if you start screaming, you're going to look incredibly thankless. And we already know, as what Jesse said, the narrative is actually a factual story. It's not a narrative. It's a factual story. The Dems put undocumented immigrants, illegal aliens before citizens. That's not a narrative. That's actually a documented fact.
How so?
Because that's how they tried to stop the bill based on DACA.
Oh,
what do I got to do? Do I need some semaphores to do this for you? We've been talking about this for months.
What do you want him to do? Hit his head on the door?
Excuse me. I think we have a situation here where Donald Trump is the one who undid
the one.
DACA and then said, I'm going to set a March deadline, and then refused to negotiate and didn't pass a budget.
Is it March?
March? It's not even March yet.
It's January.
So
No,
Kimberly,
it's a March deadline.
do you think that everybody?
Right.
What do you think will
It's
happen in 3
January.
weeks?
We're not at the deadline.
We've got 3 weeks until the next round.
Bottom line is, I think that this is boding very well for the president. I think the Democrats are in, like, in baseball, you're in, like, the pickle, right? They're trying, you're going to get tagged out. Thanks to Crying Chuck, it's a big problem. Political capital for Schumer way down. This was a strategic move, I think, by the president and his team that has worked well. And again, is in keeping and consistent exactly with what he said he was going to do during the campaign. And I think more in step with the majority of Americans in terms of what they want. So I think that this is actually going to ultimately prevail as a victory for the president. And I think we're already seeing that perhaps even quicker than we thought.
Yep.
Can I just add that, this is what he does. Why make a deal when it's not till March? People don't do that when you're dealing.
Right.
When you're a dealer. The other thing too is, but to make Juan happy, Trump often likes a deal more than what's in the deal. So you'll be. I
might
think
be dealing for a while.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I did think, and I'll wrap it up. Don't worry, Mr. in my ear. That if you look back at the headlines in 2013 when the Republicans caved and ended the shutdown, that the headlines that Chuck Schumer is dealing with today were the ones that the Republicans were dealing with back then, and people move on. But what we really should do is try to get back to regular order and just pass a budget. And make
that'd be nice.
All right, ahead. NBC accused of helping spread North Korean propaganda. You decide next.
You're 10 years old and you're in this terrible circumstance.
Hitler invalidated our passports.
Events that changed the world.
How did you first see Gary Ferguson?
Crazy American cowboy.
People who changed each other's lives.
There's nobody that had a bigger impact on my life.
Mary Frances was standing up for you.
I need to see her, and it gets more urgent the older I get.
Rika!
Look at you. It's been a lifetime, hasn't it?
We'll meet again, only on PBS.
One day, you're gonna walk. You're gonna stand up all by yourself. You're gonna jump and skip. I won't be able to keep up with you. One day, you're gonna spin and dance, just like a little ballerina. One day, you're going to hop, skip, and jump all the way down the sidewalk. One day, you are going to have no limits.
These moments are only possible because of people like you.
Your gift, no matter how small, makes a difference.
Will you send children like Sarah your love to the rescue today?
When you give today, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you and a reminder of the love you gave to a kid just like me.
Because of the support of people like you, today, my little girl can dance. Will you call or go online right now so other children like Sarah can dance too?
Gracias. Thank you. Thank you for giving. Please call or go online now. If operators are busy, call again or go to loveshiners.org now.
It's time to drop all those unhealthy pounds that have been weighing you down. 30 pounds down. I'm down 41 pounds.
79 pounds down.
Introducing Turbo 13 from Nutrisystem. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month. Lose weight fast. Money back guaranteed.
You'll improve your health, have more energy, and lose weight. I'm Marie, and I dropped 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Order your 28-day plan right now, and we'll rush you Turbo 13 with specially designed meals. Plus, 1 week of all new NutriCurb bars to curb cravings free. And 1 week of Turbo Shakes to help shrink your belly free.
41 pounds down.
Call or go online in the next 2 minutes, and we'll even throw in FedEx shipping free. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month.
If I can do it, you can do it. Join me in the millions of people who have lost weight with Nutrisystem.
Go online or call 888-608-DIET right now and get Turbo 13 with bars and shakes free.
At Wayfair.com, we think that when the big stuff ships free, it's just better.
Cover better, brunch better, crunch better, rock better, roll better, whoa better, dream better, clean better, yeah, better!
Oh, Wayfair has free shipping. Game changer.
Fast better, free better, everything's better when
Get
it's
free shipping on orders over $49. Shop better at Wayfair.com.
Wayfair, you've got just what I need.
They appear out of nowhere, my secret visitors.
Hallucinations and delusions, the unknown parts of living with Parkinson's.
The plots they unfold, but only in my mind.
Over 50% of people with Parkinson's will experience hallucinations or delusions during the course of their disease. If your loved one is experiencing these symptoms, talk to your Parkinson's specialist. There are treatment options that can help.
My visitors should be the ones I want to see.
North Korea isn't known for treating foreigners with respect. Remember Otto Warmbier? There's also that ongoing threat of nuclear war. So it took a lot of people by surprise when they heard NBC's top anchor, Lester Holt, making a point to credit the country for its kind treatment during his recent visit.
We arrived in North Korea on Saturday. We flew the North Korean state airline. It's about an hour-and-a-half flight from Beijing. We have been treated with respect here. We have been invited, and our guests of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We stayed in a guest house outside Pyongyang last night, and then made our way to this ski resort to get a look at a part of North Korea that most Americans don't see, and certainly a part they would like us to see.
All right, Dana, do you think Lester Holt realizes he's handing the North Koreans a propaganda victory?
Yeah, I do, because I've watched a couple of these reports, and in each report, he does have a little bit of a caveat and a little bit of like we get the joke here. But I think that this video and these invitations are not meant for us. This is meant for internal propaganda brainwashing, so that the leader, the dear leader, can show all the people there that live in North Korea just how respected the North Koreans are, just how wonderful their country is. Meanwhile, most of the country is starving, and it is absolutely outrageous. In the Weekly Standard, one of your favorites, Ethan Epstein
I have the subscription now. Thanks
yes, thank you. Ethan Epstein writes a piece today that's it's called 12 Times the Media Offered a Rare Glimpse into North Korea in just the last several years. So obviously we are being used.
If you were Lester, pretend you're Lester, Greg.
I am.
Would you accept the invitation, or would you say no way?
I don't know. You know, imagine if Fox and Friends did a week of shows in North Korea. Cooking with Friends would be literal. Be like, hey, I reckon the casserole looks familiar. I like it when he says, he says they showed us part of North Korea that we don't see. We don't see any part of North Korea. We only see what they let us see. This is what's very common among communist leaders. They did this constantly with Hollywood celebrities. They would Hollywood celebrities would go to Cuba. They go to USSR, Venezuela. They would turn hapless, naive suckers like Sean Penn into fellow traveling mouthpieces. And because you know why? They would treat you well. They'd get you booze. They'd get you women. They'd do all sorts of stuff. But the thing is, there's there's some interesting things that could happen during this. They could be taken hostage. What do we do then? The U.S. probably cannot exercise a military option knowing that, that those people are there. Or they could infect them with some kind of biological agent and send them back to the United States, which is, you know, possible.
Did you lay awake at night thinking about this?
I think about it all the time, Kimberly.
All right, well, the Five will not be going to North Korea anytime soon. Kimberly, what do you think about this?
I mean, we just asked to go to the Super Bowl.
I know, and we were told no.
And I was like, well, wait a second, because, you know, last time you went, they were like, 10 kg. Okay.
Yeah, we liked you down there.
Yeah, it was good. Look, so Lester Holt has an opportunity to go there. I get it as a journalist. I don't begrudge him the opportunity, but nevertheless, I think some of the criticism, you know, is fair. And when you actually look at the facts, the circumstances, the evidence, the intel coming out of North Korea, you see it is a barbaric regime where people are being starved. His army is starving. They're now being told to steal food from starving farmers. He is on a charm campaign offensive for the Olympics to try to prove that there's something other than what they are. And that's why he's sending dancers and this and that over to the Olympics to see. So let not your mind be fooled.
Right, and part of the charm offensive, they're having the North Korean athletes train with South Korean athletes. And I think the dear leader spent about $35 million on this fancy ski resort. So it's all part of the propaganda.
Yeah, absolutely. And the key political point is here, you will have 22 North Korean athletes marching with the South Korean delegation into the Olympics. And this is a real show of unity until you have Moon Jae-in, who's the president of South Korea, agreeing to this kind of détente. It's not necessarily in the interest of the United States as we try to put pressure on North Korea to hold back in terms of their nuclear weapons. And the sanctions regime, as Kimberly just said, all of that now starts to fall and be uncertain. And I think part of it is to have Americans come in. They had Vice come in. We've had others go in, Lester Holt go in. The idea is to, you know, humanize them, soften them up. Here they are at the ski resort. But it's just, again, this is propaganda, and you just got to see it for what it is.
All right, ahead, another anthem controversy just before the Super Bowl. Right back.
Come on, if you make sure you're connected, the writing's on the wall. But if your mind's neglected, stumble you.
Hi, I'm William Devane. You've heard me talk about how smart it is to buy silver. Well, there's a growing demand for silver around the world, and right now silver is very affordable with room to grow in value. So don't miss out. I buy my silver from Rosalind Capital. Buying silver has been an important way to accumulate wealth for thousands of years and a great way to start investing. There are silver coins, silver bars, and even full bags of silver. And Rosalind has them all. And with Rosalind, what you order is what you get. No gimmicks, no nonsense, no hassle. I like that, and so will you. So when it comes to buying gold or silver, call Rosalind Capital.
Call now and get a free gold kit, including coins only available from Rosalind Capital, a free silver kit, and a free IRA kit. Call 800-630-8900, 800-630-8900, 800-630-8900.
Your call is now first in line and will be answered by the next available representative. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for holding. How may I assist you?
Hi, yes. We were just broken into, and we need a home security system.
Oh, sorry, wrong department. Please hold.
The best home security isn't hard to get. With SimpliSafe, you can get comprehensive, professionally monitored home security online without the hold time or runaround. Anyone can set up SimpliSafe in under an hour. There are no tools needed. Just open the box, plug it in, and your family's protected around the clock. Each SimpliSafe system is a thoughtfully assembled security arsenal. From entry and motion sensors to a high-definition security camera, you'll have everything you need to keep your family safe. If someone tries to break in, you can see what happened right on your phone. Our monitoring center will call to make sure you're safe and immediately dispatch police to your home.
All clear. Alarm must have scared him off.
SimpliSafe's professional security is so reliable, it was named Central Station of the Year. And with SimpliSafe, 24/7 protection is just $15 a month. There are no long-term contracts or commitments, so you're free to start or cancel monitoring when you need to. CNET called SimpliSafe Comprehensive, Easy-to-Use Protection, naming it Editor's Choice for home security. And it has over 30,000 five-star reviews on Google. Each system comes with a 60-day risk-free guarantee. Order today and get free shipping. You'll feel safe at home or your money back. Start protecting your home today. Go to GetSimpliSafe.com.
Tinnitus affects millions of people, and in a recent study, sufferers tried lipoflavonoid for 60 days as directed. Those who completed the study reported a 32% improvement in their symptoms. Try lipoflavonoid 60-day challenge. If it doesn't work for you, you'll get your money back.
Dogs have evolved, but their nutritional needs remain instinctual. That's why there's Purina One True Instinct. Nutrient-dense, protein-rich, real meat #1. This is a different breed of natural nutrition. Purina One True Instinct.
This is Frank.
What's up?
This is Frank's favorite record. This is Frank's dog. And this is Frank's Record Shop. Frank knows Northern Soul, but how to set up a limited liability company?
What's that mean?
Not so much. So he turned to his friends at LegalZoom.
Yep, they hooked me up.
We helped with his LLC, contracts, and some other stuff that's part of running a business. So Frank can focus on the beat.
Tarmac for 40 minutes and talking about their grandkids. And then on July 1st, Lynch says she's going to step away from the investigation. She will accept whatever the FBI concludes. Remember, she encouraged Comey, it's a matter, it's not an investigation. This is all before Hillary Clinton, 3 days before she was ever even interviewed. That happened on the 4th of July weekend. So after Lynch's statement that she was taking a back seat, Strzok writes his mistress, girlfriend, Paige, timing looks like hell. Paige replies, yeah, that's awful timing. And then later adds, it's a real profile in courage since she knows no charges will be brought. They hadn't interviewed Hillary Clinton yet. 4 days later, They finally interviewed Hillary Clinton on the third day. Then Comey comes out with what he was already writing in early May in his press conference, giving Hillary Clinton a pass on everything. So Strzok knew, Page knew, Comey knew, Lynch knew, and I assume Andrew McCabe knew as well. Nothing was going to happen to Hillary because the fix was in. And if Lisa Page knew, then that probably means she was advising Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe. So what else are they lying about? Were they aware the FBI was giving Clinton cover? And if Comey, Lynch, and all these top law enforcement officials knew that this was their agreement, not to go after Clinton because they wanted her in the race to defeat Donald Trump because they know better than you who should be president, then there's a pretty darn good chance that someone in the Obama White House also was doing the wink and nod thing, and they knew the fix was in. In other words, the fix was it. It was rigged. Now there's another component to the story. We have even more breaking news tonight about the effort by congressional Republicans to release the 4-page classified memo. That exposes the FISA abuses against the Trump campaign. Byron York reporting nearly 200 members of Congress have now seen this. And Fox News is reporting tonight that the memo could be released any day now. But we're still calling on you, the American people, once again, call up your members of Congress, demand that the memo be released. Release the memo. Call the number at the bottom of your screen, 202-224-3121. Tell your members of Congress, we deserve to know the truth about what is likely the biggest scandal in American history. There's so much information. There's so many players involved in all of this. Let me tie it together. Hillary Clinton rigged the primary. If you're a Bernie Sanders supporter, you should be pissed. Why you're not, I don't know. Even though there is incontrovertible evidence she broke the law, James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Loretta Lynch all put the fix in and allowed her to stay in this presidential race. They ignored the rule of law, the Constitution, and Clinton and the DNC that she controlled then spent over $12 million to influence the election with a bought and paid for dossier full of Russian lies and propaganda that was shipped off to the compliant media. The Obama administration weaponized the powerful tools of intelligence that we need to keep our country safe, but in this case, they used it to target members of the Trump campaign. This, so you understand, is so much bigger than Watergate. It's about our Constitution, about the rule of law. It has been shredded. All because powerful people at the highest level in the DOJ and the FBI thought they knew better than you as to who should be president. There needs to be serious ramifications if we're going to save our country in all of this. People must be held accountable. They must be investigated. They must be indicted, and probably many of them thrown in jail. Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan is with us. Fox News contributor Sarah Carter, former Secret Service agent Dan Bongino. Congressman, am I missing anything here?
No, you're not. And the central player in this entire drama, Sean, is the guy you identified, Peter Strzok. The first batch of text messages, he talks about the insurance policy in case the American people make Donald Trump president. This latest batch, he talks about unfinished business. I unleashed it during the mid-year exam, which was the code name they had for the Clinton investigation. Now he says I need to finish it and fix it. 4 minutes after that text message, he sends another message to Lisa Page where he says an investigation that leads to impeachment. If that doesn't go to their entire motive, their entire plan, what they had in store, and the animus they had for President Trump, I don't know what does. And never forget, as you pointed out in your monologue, Peter Strzok was the key guy in the Clinton investigation. Interviewed Mills, interviewed Abedin, interviewed Clinton. He was the guy who changed the exoneration from.
Are we going to get the truth, Congressman, or are we going to get to the 1 yard line and it dies? We don't get it. In other words, we don't get.
You can see it building.
What's that?
You can see it building. Yeah, you can see it building amongst the members of Congress. 200 members of Congress. I've read that memo. Guess what? I bet the score is 200-0 in favor of releasing it. Because this is the kind of thing that is so wrong when the FBI says, think about this, Sean. FBI's investigating you. And you lose important documents, or you lose text messages, or you delete emails.
Bring me a cake with a file because I'll be in jail. Bring me the cake.
No kidding.
All right, let me go to Sarah
That's
Carter.
What drives Americans crazy.
Sarah, it has been almost a year since you and John Solomon broke the story about the warrants at Trump Tower, the investigation. Look at where we are today. Your thoughts, and where are we going? I hear this is just the tip of the spear.
This is just the tip of the spear, Sean. Look, right now we have Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, but they were reporting to someone. We're focused on them with good reason. But think about the people they were reporting to. I want to know what Andrew McCabe, who's the deputy director, was texting to others, how he was involved in it. James Rubicki, who just left the FBI, and now we know McCabe is leaving in March. There is so much more to this story, and the unmaskings. And Director Brennan, former Director Brennan of the CIA.
Yeah, Samantha Power, unmasking 300 people. Great.
Yes.
Where did
Susan
that power
Rice.
come from?
And, well, yeah, where did that come from? And now she says, she told Trey Gowdy that someone signed those unmaskings in her name.
I'd like to know who then.
That.
Let's find out who was impersonating
right.
the UN ambassador and that were unmasking Americans. You know, fundamentally, Dan Bongino, I am really, this 5-month gap, this is so much bigger than 18.5-minute gap of tape in the Watergate tapes. 5 months, the most critical time period. With your experience in law enforcement, the Secret Service, the new NYPD, are we able to retrieve those forensically? I don't believe they're lost.
Sean, let me tell you something, and I'm willing to put my credibility behind this on your show tonight. Those messages aren't lost. I absolutely believe this is some kind of a canary trap to out leakers again. We've seen this pattern before. False information put out there to catch people leaking information. We saw it on the Don Trump Jr. WikiLeaks story, with the Deutsche Bank story. We also saw it with the Mike Flynn story. Now, let me just say something to you here. That 5-month period is critical, because that's also the 5-month period where this Logan Act conspiracy, or what I've been calling a reverse engineering of a crime, happens within the DOJ or the FBI. Listen to me. Make no mistake on this. Donald Trump was set up. This was a sting operation the entire time, and this Logan Act conspiracy to hit Mike Flynn on while they were listening to his calls was a legal patina or a cover.
That was a perjury trap. I bet my life on it, and it was illegal, the information they had beforehand. All right, Sarah and Congressman, when are we going to get the memo? When do we get it, Congressman?
I think soon. I'm hoping even next week. I know I talked to Chairman Nunes. He's committed to making sure the committee calls its hearing, has the vote, and then we start that 5-day process. And I believe, frankly, the White House will give us the thumbs up right away. If that passes the committee with a majority vote, I think President Trump will say, let the American people see it.
Sarah, are we
Congressman Jordan, yes. Yeah, he definitely brought up what I was hearing as well. There will be a vote next week. That's what I've been told. And then after that, it goes to the president. And I'm sure he will allow that to go public.
And it's only
we'll get to see the memo.
I hear there's a lot more even coming behind that memo. The both of you glean that from what you heard. Yes. Okay.
I think there'll be more memos, Sean.
Wow.
Sean, here's the other thing that I think is important. Why didn't Rod Rosenstein, when he testified just last month in front of the House Judiciary Committee, why didn't he tell us they were missing text messages?
Wait a minute, did Rod Rosenstein, exactly, bring him back. And did he extend that FISA warrant? Do you know that, Congressman? Did he extend that?
I can't get into who signed what, and that's part of this. I just can't get into that. But
my guess is he did.
Rod Rosenstein came and testified. He was asked about the text messages because that was the day before he testified was when we got the first batch of the struck page text messages. The FBI turned them all over to the Inspector General.
He went into
Why didn't he tell us that they were missing
office
men?
begging not to release any of this. That constitutes the memo. Dan Bongino, last word.
Sean, don't discount the name John Carlin either within the DOJ. He knew what was going on here in conjunction with Sally Yates, and this is the connection, I think, to the White House on this. Don't discount that name. He left under very suspicious circumstances.
By the way, that's another point in the timeline, Sarah, I forgot to mention.
Yeah, it is an important point and a crucial point, but I think an even bigger point now is that Radcliffe wants to interview Comey, interview Carlin, interview Sally Yates. Let's find out what was going on with them, and I think we'll start to see the story unravel.
All right, guys, amazing work, all of you. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Sean.
Release the memo and find the text. All right. Now, when we come back, he was on fire last night. Reaction to my opening monologue. We'll check in with the chief counsel for the American Center for Law and Justice, President Trump's attorney. Jay Sekulow, straight ahead.
In 3 days, see the film critics are calling stunning, magnificent, beautiful, astounding. Don't miss Hostels. Rated R. Now playing select cities everywhere Friday.
One day, you're gonna walk. You're gonna stand up all by yourself. You're gonna jump and skip. I won't be able to keep up with you. One day, you're gonna spin and dance, just like a little ballerina. One day, you're going to hop, skip, and jump all the way down the sidewalk. One day, you are going to have no limits.
These moments are only possible because of people like you.
Your gift, no matter how small, makes a difference.
Will you send children like Sarah your love to the rescue today?
When you give today, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you and a reminder of the love you gave to a kid just like me.
Because of the support of people like you, today, my little girl can dance. Will you call or go online right now so other children like Sarah can dance too?
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving. Please call or go online now. If operators are busy, call again or go to loveshiners.org now.
It's time to drop all those unhealthy pounds that have been weighing you down.
I dropped 135 pounds.
I lost 55 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Introducing Turbo 13 from Nutrisystem. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month. Money back guaranteed. Order on Nutrisystem.com right now and get NutriCurve bars and Turbo Shakes to help shrink your belly. Plus Turbo Boosters to rev your metabolism, all free.
Join me in the millions of people who have lost weight with Nutrisystem.
Go to Nutrisystem.com and get bar shakes and Turbo Boosters free.
With constant cybersecurity threats, Americans need to take responsibility and protect themselves from identity theft.
That's why Experian monitors the dark web globally and alerts you to suspicious activity, so you can act before a criminal can. Go to Experian.com/protect now to see if your personal information is on the dark web with a free one-time dark web scan.
Every American needs protection from the dark web. Protect yourself and your family now.
This is where life expresses itself as an endless flow of energy. Are you ready? Atlantis, Bahamas at heart.
Book by January 31st for the best winter rates at 1-800-Atlantis or AtlantisBahamas.com.
The U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, inside the impact on the Mideast and what it could mean for peace negotiations. Palestine's chief negotiator reacts on Fox News at Night.
Plaid or stripes?
Cold sore.
Hey, what's up? What can I get you?
Cold sore?
What?
Cold sore.
Want to grab lunch?
Cold sore.
When you have a cold sore, you can't think of anything else. Campho-Phenique's topical anesthetic plus antimicrobial action soothes pain fast.
What's for dinner?
Meatloaf.
Campho-Phenique on, cold sore pain gone.
Graduation day, a new start. Now you can begin repaying your student loans. Refinance at Credible.com, where people have saved on average $18,000 over the life of their loans. In 2 minutes, you can be pre-qualified for real rates, not ranges, from trusted lenders.
Knock 7 years off my payments.
Stop paying too much. 2 minutes is all it takes to see how much you could save on your student loans. Visit Credible.com before your next payment is due.
He is the chief counsel for the American Center for Law and Justice, President Trump's attorney, Jay Sekulow. A secret society? A secret society?
Yep. Look, Sean, I mean, you could start with the secret society. You could end with the missing text messages, or you could start where Senator Grassley, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, said, conclusions first, fact gathering second. That's no way to run an investigation. So I think what
we have
you've
a tape of Ratcliffe. I want to show it to everybody.
Yeah, sure.
Because he's asked this question. This is a key moment. Let me go back to this here, and I'll get your response to it.
Director, did you make the decision not to recommend criminal charges relating to classified information before or after Hillary Clinton was interviewed by the FBI on July the 2nd?
After. But if colleagues of ours believe I am lying about when I made this decision, please urge them to contact me privately so we can have a conversation about this. All I can do is tell you again, the decision was made after that because I didn't know what was going to happen in that interview. She maybe lied during the interview in a way we could prove.
Then why did he write an exoneration?
Well, you notice something else she just said? Maybe she would have lied during the interview. In other words, were they trying to set up a perjury trap? So really, you got to listen to what James Comey just said. First, he said he made the conclusion after the interview right? Which we know is a false statement because he made the decision months before the interview. By the way, it wasn't just the interview with the former Secretary of State. It was also other witnesses that were granted immunity that had not yet been interviewed when he made his exculpatory statement saying that she's not responsible and there's no violation of law months before the key witnesses were put forward or interviewed. Then he said she may have lied during the interview and that would have maybe changed it. In other words, a perjury trap. So this is kind of Washington speak for what? An examination or investigation, Sean, that from its outset, let's look at what has transpired here. Let's put it into a context. Number one, just weeks ago, we had the revelation about the number 4 at the Department of Justice, Bruce Ohr, whose wife was working for Fusion GPS with Christopher Steele on the dossier, while her husband was serving as the number 4 in the United States Department of Justice. That's one. Number two, the missing, and this seems to be, I hate to say this, but it just, I've had this experience because of the litigation that we engaged in at the American Center for Law and Justice involving the IRS targeting cases. You had the missing Lois Lerner emails. You know, we get to the point of the case where this is the critical time, the prime time, and what happens? Gone. The evidence can't be recovered. It took 2 years. We won the case. We got the damages. Got the injunction. But yes, 2 years later. So this is a pattern in practice. And then there's no explanation. What is their explanation for this? That the FBI gave out faulty devices and didn't know there was a problem for 5 months? All right. I hope that's not the case, because that in and of itself is bad as well.
So Page
shows a
and
complete
Strzok,
lack of leadership. Yep.
We know Page and Strzok. First of all, we know that he thought there was no there there. That's fascinating considering his position and what he did with Russia. That's number one. They knew the fix was in. Yep. They talked about an insurance policy with McCabe. So Strzok, Page, McCabe, Comey, who's writing the exoneration before investigation. And now we see Page saying, well, it's a profile in courage. She knows there's not going to be anything here. So they all knew that there was no shot in hell that there was ever going to be any real investigation into Hillary.
You know, Sean, I said it last night. These aren't investigations. These are political setups. It's a faux investigation. The reality is there's nothing in the investigation that's investigatory. In other words, when you look at what happens, the way it transpires, the missing documents, the witnesses, the statement from Peter Strzok, I mean, that's the classic one, and saying, well, there's no big there, so why am I going to waste my time going on to the special counsel's team, which he, by the way, does a couple days later. So you have all of this back and forth, but realize what was going on. He would have known there was no there because of what? He was on the Russia collusion, so-called collusion investigation from the outset.
So the leak tonight, I want to ask you, and I don't know if you can answer this, that Robert Mueller wants to ask about the firing of Comey and about General Flynn. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I'll just give you my take. Never in a million years under these conditions, with his team of only Democratic donors and the track record of people like Andrew Weissman, would I ever let a president ever talk to this man, ever.
So let me just say this. Look, as the president's lawyers, we evaluate the situation. We evaluate the facts. We evaluate the circumstances.
It's a trap. I don't trust him.
Sean, let me respond to you here. I understand what you're saying. But look, as the lawyers, we evaluate the entire matter. I'm not going to disclose what conversations we have or have not had with the special counsel. I will tell you this. This has been the most transparent investigation in history. We have turned over, when I say we, the president, the transition team, the campaign, the White House, tens of thousands, over 100,000 documents. We have had all of the witness voluntarily comply. There's been no assertion before the special counsel's office of any type of privilege, executive privilege, attorney-client privilege, anything at this point. Nothing. So I always ask the question, ask the president about what? That's what you want to know. So, again, I'm not going to disclose the conversations that we're having or not having. We are representing the client's interests. That's what I'll say.
All right, fair answer. I understand your position. Jay Sekulow, thank you so much for being with us. When we come back, former Mexican President Vicente Fox, a Hannity Classic Shootout is next.
ADT now helps protect your family at home and on the go. Introducing new ADT Go, the family mobile safety app and service. Get connected features like family member locator, check-ins, private messaging, Safe Driver Report, and SOS button with our award-winning 24/7 monitoring that makes ADT the most trusted security company. And now, get ADT Go for free with any ADT security system. Get started with the ADT Starter Kit, professionally installed for only $49. Get a security panel, keypad, key fob, entry and motion sensors. And for a limited time, get a camera included and installed at no additional cost. Plus, control your ADT security system and smart home features like locks, lights, and security cameras from the ADT Pulse app. The peace of mind that sets ADT apart is bringing families together. And now, get ADT Go for free with any security system. ADT, always there, now, everywhere.
They're called the Branch Davidians.
I believe David Koresh is the Messiah. Waco, Texas.
It's a polygamous cult.
They're coming for me. We aren't afraid of the government. Big Brother wants to come in here and fight. We will fight back.
I am trying to help you people.
You gotta call it off. This is war. Please stop!
Waco, a 6-part television event on Paramount Network.
Sandals and Grill, Jamaica's most sought-after beach resort. Call 1-800-SANDALS.
The closer you get to home, the more you know the commute is worth it. For all the work you pour into this place, you sure get a lot more out of it. You and that John Deere tractor, so versatile, you can keep dreaming up projects all the way home. It's a longer drive, but just like a John Deere, it's worth it. Nothing runs like a Deere. Now you can own a 1E subcompact tractor for just $99 a month. Learn more at your John Deere dealer.
My cardiologist said, I don't want you to come back until you get something done about those teeth. That is the foundation of good heart health.
We're doing amazing transformations, and it's not just a smile, it changes their person's total outlook.
At ClearChoice, we understand that your dental health impacts your total health.
Doing the best for your own personal health is what's important.
Schedule your free consultation today. We'll even talk about financing options. Call ClearChoice today.
If you're concerned about your heart health, or know someone who is, then you should get CardioMobile by AliveCor, the only FDA-cleared medical-grade personal EKG device that analyzes your heart rhythm in just 30 seconds and lets you send results directly to your doctor.
Atrial fibrillation is an abnormal heart rhythm that can lead to stroke. By using the CardioMobile device, we can detect atrial fibrillation.
When you feel a symptom and you feel like your heart's acting up, taking the EKG immediately and getting that reading that's normal is a huge peace of mind.
When Barry uses his CardioMobile, it gives us the peace of mind that he's okay, gives us the freedom to travel and to move on and live our life.
I went through many years where my first instinct was to go to the ER. This is my first go-to. This is my first line of defense in getting, information to my doctor.
CardioMobile puts peace of mind in your pocket for only $99. To order, visit cardiomobile.com.
Without CardioMobile, I wouldn't know when I needed help.
All right, big news out of our nation's capital tonight involving President Trump's border wall and the negotiations with Democrats. Oh, Chuck Schumer went back on his word. Joining us live, Fox News Chief National Correspondent Ed Henry. Ed.
Sean, good to see you. Senator Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader in the Senate, is under heavy pressure from his liberal critics. In their words, he caved to President Trump in those negotiations over the government shutdown. And so what's happening now is the left wanted Schumer to stand strong and keep the government closed until he